Are you good?
I think so.
Yeah, you guys comfy? You all set to go?
Yes.
Is this like a gamer's chair?
Yeah.
Sure is.
Let's get lumbar support. I'm straight. As can be. As one could be.
You're straight. You really said that in Pride Month?
Yeah, dude. As one could be. As one could be.
Damn, dude. That's so insensitive, dude.
Damn. Canceled. What's up, everyone? Welcome to Betamax. My name's Fidel. Joining me on this episode is Jose, Eddie, and Trevor.
What up?
Welcoming back Trevor.
Yeah.
That's what's up. Homie.
Second time around, dog.
Cheers, fuckers.
That's right. So this episode's coming out on Father's Day.
Papa.
Yep.
I'm the only one. Well, no, I'm the only one that's not a dad. So
No,
officially,
I mean, like,
kind of.
kind of. I mean, you're
stepdad.
there, fool.
well, I mean, from
You
the
do shit with
Damn,
them?
this shit's fucking thick, homie.
Yeah.
Hey,
No, like this double chico bottle feels thick as fuck, homie.
The spicy water.
earthy, dude.
is
Look at
spicy.
I can't even put my fingers all the way around. Look at that shit. Aren't they usually like pretty thin? Am I tripping? Dude, I'm fucking tripping today.
No, it's,
Never mind. This fool can't be the devil.
no, they're the bottles from Sam's Club.
Excuse me.
So they're just bigger bottles.
Oh, okay, yeah. Because the ones I have, they're a lot
It
thinner.
almost looks like a Coke bottle.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like thick glass too. You could tell.
yeah, dude. I like those bottles,
Dude, double chico's so good.
but that's why I thought it would be a cool idea. Because I mean, I don't know, you seem like you're kind of doing something fatherly
You're not
like that.
such a-
Taking
you're
up
the
somewhat
dad
of a
that stepped
fatherly role.
There you go. See.
Hell yeah.
Hey, don't listen to this guy.
Yeah.
Hey, but before we get into that, I want to talk about what we did yesterday.
Oh yeah,
The orgy?
Yeah, that shit was tight, dude.
it was tight.
Literally.
Yeah.
No,
Y'all freaks.
Trevor? Are you a fan of Turnstile?
Yeah, for
Did-
sure.
did you
you
listen?
guys went and saw that movie?
Yeah.
The film.
The film, yeah, the visual album,
At the Plaza? Mm-hmm. How was it?
dude.
It was
I haven't
cool.
listened to the album yet, so I don't really know much. I watched the that one video, I think, for Birds.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Is that the one where they're like kind of out in the middle of a field and
Yeah, that's
fools are
that's
stage
actually a part of it.
Yeah, fools are stage driving and stuff
Yeah.
like that. That was really cool looking, you know what I mean? The way they shot it with the filter and all that stuff,
Yeah.
it looked really cool. Like I don't know what kind of camera they shot it on, but
I don't know.
it looks great. From what I heard, I like it. Seems like they got a couple songs on there that are a little harder.
Yeah, the full album dropped like I want to say maybe like 10 p.m. last night.
Okay.
Is when it officially like the whole thing came out.
Oh, so to just like in audio form.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But there's no way to like watch it right now.
I don't
'Cause
know.
It's in theaters right
It's
now.
in theater. It's in select theaters until Sunday. Yeah, and it's only has one showtime each day, at least like in the surrounding areas of Riverside. So
Oh, wild.
How
Yeah.
was it?
I thought it was awesome. Like I loved it.
Yeah. Do you have like something that stands out to you that you liked most about it?
I liked like the art direction of it. Like it was very colorful, but it also had kind of like a 70s feel to it, I guess you could say. You know, just because it was colorful, but there were some colors that kind of felt a little dulled down, so it wasn't like as vibrant. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like the color palette was a little bit more like matted as opposed
Yeah.
to like
Like browns and yellows, and I saw that one video where it looks like they're kind of like they would be performing on like the Tonight Show back in like the 60s or something like that. You know what I'm
Yeah.
talking about?
Yeah.
So that reminded me of that video the Strokes did for last night. Do you remember that video?
Yeah.
It's almost kind of like that same look.
Like the same aesthetic.
Exactly. Yeah. It looks cool, dude. It looks cool.
I remember, and then when we watched like that performance that they did, where what was it, the Tiny Desk, right? When he's actually when he's playing like the actual like Rhodes piano,
Yeah.
and you see him doing it again, like on a Fender Rhodes,
Yeah.
you know. But that whole sequence when they're in like the studio setting, like had like it was all like analog stuff, except for I'm not sure if the amps they were using. But no, I thought it was cool too. I loved the color of it. I could see more of what you guys were saying. Like it's more Holy Mountain-ish
Yeah.
than it is
Oh,
like
yeah.
a Midsummer. Like now that I've seen it in its entirety.
Yeah, I could see that from just the images I've seen so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I thought it was cool. Like to me, it seemed kind of like like it was just a long ass music video. You know,
Yeah.
like it's just, and each song had like a different like video, but like they all like flowed together in like this artsy way.
Yeah.
You know,
Their trajectory is crazy, dude.
for sure.
Like I was listening because I'm like prepping for it. I was listening to Step to the Rhythm today. Like I listened to that whole. I love that album, dude. Nonstop Feeling too, such a good album. But like, just the way it's changing as it's going.
Yeah.
But it's cool because they're getting more like into the production, more into the music. Because they have the money to do this stuff now.
Yeah.
You know
Exactly.
what I mean? So they're expressing themselves artistically.
They're getting to cook right now, dude.
There's no ceiling,
Yeah.
dude. There's no ceiling.
Dude, the way that like they're incorporating like sweeter tones, but like that are done like just with
Harmony.
like yeah, but like it's done with just like keys, you know. And there's like a long period of time where they just do that, and
This is kind of lingering on.
yeah, you know, and then in comes like a dancey type number, but with like an odd like drum beat timing that just, I don't know, you can't help but to be like, oh, this is it makes you want to move a little bit, you know.
Yeah.
Like I think they're definitely like on this upward motion for sure, dude. And they really, I love the album, dude.
And I don't think anybody is not down with it, dude. Like all the homies that like grew up listening to Turnstile, even when they were like hard, you know,
Yeah.
heavier, they're like, no, this is tight.
Well,
You
we
know what I
talked about it before, that people like even like that we didn't expect to like know about hardcore or anything, like they're Turnstile fans.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of like transcended just like that one particular genre.
Yeah,
you know?
some dude on a podcast the other day brought it up. These are some bands I listen to. This band Turnstile, and I was just like, "What the heck,
Yeah.
dude?" Like,
That's sick.
it was tight because it was someone I didn't expect. He said Turnstile and he said Drain. I was
Yeah,
like, "Whoa!"
I feel like Turnstile is definitely gonna be like that gateway band for a lot of people now.
100%.
A lot of young kids.
100%.
but
good.
that's cool because they'll
Yeah.
go back and listen to the old stuff too.
Exactly. Because because then if you're doing it backwards and you hear like the hardcore stuff like going like in that backwards like direction, I can see them like really like tapering into like that harder sound.
Oh, yeah.
Easier, you know what I mean? And then getting to appreciate it more, because I mean, for some people, you know, they're just like, I don't know, it's too much like screaming and like a too much crazy hardness.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
What do you think, Eddie?
I liked it. Like you said, it just felt like a long music video. I think it's cool because I feel like not enough bands are doing the whole like visual movie artsy
Yeah.
shit,
Yeah.
which I think hopefully, I mean, this kind of motivates other people to do it too.
Exactly.
'Cause I'm curious to see what like crazier bands would do if they had the money. for it.
Yeah.
But obviously, because when the credits rolled up, I thought it was just gonna be like a short thing, but obviously a lot of work went into it.
Yeah.
Dude, a lot of people.
Yeah,
worked
and we
on this
saw
shit.
like names in there that I didn't expect. Like when I like Sam
Boston.
Yeah, he was doing playback. You know, like I'm not even sure what that is.
Well,
but-
even like stuff that I thought, like it was just the band members doing, like, but they had like drone pilots. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, they hired people.
yeah,
to, like, do
it's
that.
crazy. Like
Yeah.
like straight up set designers. You know,
Yeah.
like, and it makes me wonder like how many of those people were like friends of theirs who like, you know, are in the mix of like the scene and stuff, but not necessarily like musicians, but had these other passions, like such as getting into film, you know.
Yeah.
And like this was kind of like them bringing like a lot of people in to like
Yeah.
engage in that interest of theirs, you know.
Yeah.
Like I'm curious to know because if that's the case, that's even better, dude. That's so cool because it's kind of giving somebody like their shot, you know.
Yeah, I feel like I mean that's kind of like the whole like thing about that kind of like hardcore music. You put your homies on when you get on. You
For
know what I
sure.
mean?
Yeah.
That's kind of like the whole rhetoric of it all. Like, all right, we're boys. Like, this is a community. We're gonna carry forward. Like, oh, we have a homie that's a videographer. We got a homie that's takes photos. Let's bring him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, he's from Baltimore. Tight. We're gonna bring him. You know what I mean? It's all connected. That's the cool. That's such a good point, Jose.
I think, but
Or something to think about at least.
Did they film everything in Baltimore?
No, they're from my understanding. So the birds section, like the outdoor section, I thought like what was filmed in Irvine, but it's somewhere in L.A.
Oh, okay.
I don't know exactly where, but because I had talked to my friend Diego, the one I told you I saw like him and his girlfriend
Yeah,
like
yeah.
in the crowd. He plays drums for Sueños, and I guess they were out there like all day. Like him and his girlfriend was out there all day doing like different takes and stuff, and they like brought him lunch and shit. And I did see videos of somebody I guess had the meta glasses, and they're like stage diving, and like they showed like Brendan, the singer, like thanking everybody for coming out, and like his appreciation for everybody just popping off basically.
Yeah.
And it looked crazy, dude. The behind the scenes shit from that video I saw, it looked fucking nuts.
That's cool, dude.
Yeah, but yeah, I guess it was like an all day thing in LA. The part where it was the car parked in the middle of the park.
Yeah.
That was Baltimore. That was in Baltimore.
Yeah, because you know how like you saw that section where they have like, you know, on the bench or whatever, and it says Baltimore,
Yeah.
the greatest city in America, and then they showed like some of those like different like multicolored, but that paletted like apartment type buildings, like they're like townhomes on that street, and then even when they were showing like those pelican looking birds kind of just on the water, I was like, okay, are they trying to show like a beauty of Baltimore that people would like otherwise stigmatize, and incorporating that into like the film? So that's why I was curious. I was like, are they trying to like, you know, like rep?
I mean,
like
people.
B-town, you know what I mean?
Yeah, people love that. If they're from there, they're from there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like Nina Simone wrote a great song called Baltimore, dude. It's like, you guys should listen to it. It's a beautiful song. It's like, it's about the nitty gritty, but like still how beautiful it is. The city by the sea, she calls it. Like when you're talking about those pelicans, I was just thinking about that song.
See, that makes me wonder even more then. Like, and if that's the case, I think that's super dope.
But these fools knew that, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. If that's like I'm saying, if that's the case, it was mad intentional, which makes it cool.
I also feel like that whole shot of the buildings like that were multicolored was kind of like a little Easter egg for the Chopped Under Ice demo cover when they're standing in front of like a stoop. I don't know if you remember.
Yeah.
It was in front of like one of a building similar to that.
Let me see.
That's another thing too. Kids will get into Trapped Under Ice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
they'll be like, oh, what other bands have these guys been in?
Brendan was the drummer for Trapped Under Ice.
Yeah.
No way.
They'll be Trapped Under Ice. And
Angel Dust.
Angel Dust. And I think Daniel Fang,
The
drummer,
demo?
I think is a demo.
And I've seen Franz play with other people too.
Friends, yeah, he's played with other people. But I know Daniel, I believe he was in
He's the drummer
Mindset.
of Angel Dust too.
Yeah. He was in, I think he was in band Mindset and Praise.
I see what you mean.
You see what I mean?
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Mindset.
So like when I saw those buildings, that's what I immediately thought of.
I think The Wire.
I see what
The Wire, yeah.
Dude,
Yeah. You ever seen The Wire?
that show is worth
No.
time, dude. It's
Yeah?
it's worth your time for sure.
A lot of people like credit like Sopranos and Oz as being like HBO's flagship like game changer TV shows. The Wire is definitely a part of that conversation.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Okay.
insane, dude.
Yeah.
I've watched it a couple times. They say it's like probably one of the best made shows ever.
Okay. That's
yeah,
cool.
like season 2's a little slow, but like other than that, dude, it's pretty good. It's pretty good the entire way through.
Where Idris Elba got his start.
Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about.
Where he has a Baltimore accent.
I
Yeah.
know what you mean.
And then like the creators, or the casting directors and all that.
That's where it
they-
takes place?
Yeah, they didn't know that Idris Elba was British because he came in and he was doing a Baltimore accent, and like he didn't reveal his actual accent until after he was cast,
Oh, that's
and
dope.
they like tripped him out. They're like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, there's like a lot of recognizable faces in there. I don't know names, but I know the faces because I've seen them in other stuff.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people in it.
That's dope.
Michael B. Jordan when he was a kid.
Yeah, he was a little kid.
Really?
Yeah, he
how old
plays-
how old is this?
Oh, this is old.
This is like
Yeah.
early 2000s, like 2000, probably
Yeah.
2001.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
It's old, dude.
It's
You'll
so
see a
sick,
lot
dude.
of like
Was it
familiar faces.
what was it on?
HBO.
HBO, huh?
It's an HBO show.
Okay.
Yeah.
Word.
All right. So, what we came for?
Dad shit.
Gangbang?
Yeah. So what was inspiring you to want to do this type of episode?
I don't know. I just kind of thought it was like a more intentional conversation that kind of fit like the theme of, because you know Father's Day is on a Sunday, you know, so I figured it'd make it relevant, I suppose.
Yeah.
But you know, it's not like a topic that, you know, like we've ever kind of just discussed before. So, you know, and I immediately started just thinking of like what comes to mind, you know, and it just I knew, I was like, man, this would be a sick conversation, you know, to kind of get everybody's like take on like different dads, like, or you know, that you see on film or in television, you know, like the first ones that pop out like to me like are Uncle Phil and Peter Banning in Hook. You know, those are the first two that came to mind for a couple of different reasons, you know. and I don't know, just kind of like, and there's elements of those two from watching those movies as a kid that I actually utilize like in my parenting, you know. So, for instance, like one thing that I always remember from Peter Banning's, like the character Peter Banning, like so Robin Williams' character in Hook, right? So he's like, you know, always on the phone, like at work. He's a workaholic, you know. He doesn't show up to his son's games, you know. Has the audacity to send somebody to fucking film it, right? And they go to take that trip to London to visit family, and then like he gets that phone call and they're fucking around in the background, and he like pops off on them, you know. His wife tells him like, hey, like what are you doing? You know, you like these are sacred moments in time, because they're small enough to where they always want us around, you know. And if you're not paying attention, you know, you're gonna miss it. And then when you want them around, you know, they're gonna be too old and they don't want to do it because you missed it, you know. Like, think about that, you know. And dude, that's something that's just kind of always stuck with me. So like, you know, I try to make sure that I'm present, you know, because that stays in the back of my mind, you know. So, but I mean, and that's, you know, like it's from a movie, so I don't know, kind of like you can have like dad figures, I suppose, from the movies that we love, you know. And then like, yeah, again, Uncle Phil was cool, you know, because I mean, dude stepped up when there's a young man who did not have his father in his life, you know, and tried to straighten this dude up and like turn him into a successful young dude, you know. And I mean, man, there's some powerful scenes like in that series, dude, you know. Yeah, but those are the two that kind of stood out to me and that I thought we could like kind of, you know, unpack.
Were there any like, are there any like film dads or TV dads that kind of mirror your own father in a way, or that you can see your dad represented in any sort of capacity?
Oh man, that's a good question. Fuck.
Well, what kind of relationship if you don't mind talking about it?
Yeah, well, I mean, like, so like memories I have like of my dad growing up, like, so when I think about like, so the first thing that comes to my mind is I want to think of like a Western reference, right?
Yeah.
Because that's kind of like the thing that my dad and I have always been kind of doing. Like some of my earliest memories of my dad, where he used to have this golden retriever. He used to have two golden retrievers, Amber and Whiskey, and he used to take me and Whiskey out to the rivers, and we would go gold panning, like for gold and shit, like in the river. Like, it was super cool. I felt like fucking Tom Sawyer and shit, dude. It was awesome. And like, so we kind of were just like buds, you know, in a way, you know. Like I said, so the first thing that comes to mind, like thinking about it, is like something like Western in nature or like Cholo in nature, because he had like that, you know, like he grew up in Echo Park in, you know, the 70s, you know. He's like, he was around that kind of shit. I don't know, like Sam Elliott type characters, dude, you know, kind of like strong, like willed, but you know, soft, like not so outspoken, you know, because my dad's the type of guy to like, you know, like he laughs like you know, like it's hard to see, you don't really see him like bust up laughing at stuff, you know.
Yeah
That's so good, dude.
It's funny because like I've seen him do that, so
yeah, he like it does all the time, like, you know. He's always kind of had like this, like, you know, he's not the type to be like oh man, that's so interesting, tell me more. Like he's you know. It's like
dude, that's fucking funny too.
Yeah, he's hilarious. So he has like this, like, you know, funny nature to him, you know. So like, I don't know, that's a good question. I feel like I would need more time to kind of like really kind of pinpoint.
We could come back to it.
Yeah, like I would love to come back to it, dude, you know.
I want to mention one thing about your dad that I experienced and that made me fucking crack up laughing, was when it was like a couple weeks we were planning our trip to Sound and Fury 2009, and then we were getting your dad to tell your mom like, oh, like I'm going too. And he was like excited about it, and she's all like, shut up, no you're not. It's like, well, who are you excited for then? And then he like looked at you and you like whispered in his ear, he's all, oh, I can't wait to see Cold World.
Hell yeah.
And just his delivery of it, because like it was like dry and he's dead serious about it, and I believe he had like a toothpick in his mouth, and just his delivery of it, dude, like that shit had me dying.
Dude, dude, I grew up with like a dude who thought like saying like just really bland, like dry jokes like that are hilarious. I mean, I think they're hilarious.
Yeah.
Drives my mom crazy.
Really?
Yeah, dude. She is like, no. She's like, oh, he's so annoying.
All right. What about you, Trevor? Any notable TV movie dads?
I feel like my dad was like a mixture between like Jack Arnold and Mr. Jones from Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was like push and pull. You know what I mean? Like he would come home some days and he'd be kind of like in a bad mood. You know, like how Jack Arnold on Wonder Years would come home.
Yeah.
He'd be like, kind of like work was work. You know, he'd be like that. But then like he'd buck up after a while. You know, and he'd be funny, clowning on me, clowning on my brother. Like that's what kind of gives me like that goofy nature. My dad was always like playful. You know.
Yeah.
And he was always like really happy to show us stuff. Like stuff that he knew about, like music, movies.
Like excited to put you on.
Yeah,
stuff?
he was
Oh,
so
that's tight.
stoked. Like, oh, you never heard of this?
Yeah.
Oh, come on, let me tell you about this. You know what I mean? He showed me Gangstar, and he was like, "You ever heard of this? You've never heard of this? Here, I'll play it for you."
That's
and
sick.
like, you know what I mean? Or like the Smiths, you know, or like just random stuff. Like he sent me a playlist today. I sent him some like random Stone Temple Pilots song that came on. I was like, "Do you remember listening to this, Dad?" It was like that Dead and Bloated song. Mm-hmm. It's pretty notable, and like. He was like, oh, he just sent me a playlist. He didn't even respond. He just sent me a playlist that said grungy. And I was like, what the hell is this? And I look and he made it. And then I go on his Spotify. He's made like 30.
Oh, shit.
Oh,
And
he
he's got all kinds of, I was like, dude, this guy.
He sounds awesome.
Yeah, dude. He was just like, he's young at heart. You know what I mean? He's a serious dude. He worked a real serious job like at a prison for like 25 years. And he's seen a lot of crazy shit. So he was just like real, like he's got an edge to him, you know what I mean? He's always got his head on a swivel. He's just like that type of dude, but he's playful. He's fun. And as he's gotten older, it's gotten better. It's like watching him be a grandpa is really cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because he's kind of like lost that, like, he still has it, but his hard exterior, he's softening as he's getting older. You know what I mean? It's cool to see. Because like he wasn't like that. I see him, I'm like, man, you're so nice to this boy. You were like that with me.
Yeah,
I got the belt.
yeah,
You know?
He let me go to shows. He's like, you're home 1 minute late. No show on Friday, dude.
Damn.
He goes, you kiss the showcase goodbye, buddy. You know, it's just like, for real. He's like, yeah, I don't care about your little friends. I'm like, damn, dude.
I remember like my brother and I were getting ready to go to a show at the showcase, and he thought he was slick, but I mean, like he's an old man, right? And he got on the computer. He like did something to where he screenshotted like on the website or whatever, and he put canceled, right? And he's like, "Oh, dude, you can't go. I looked it up. Like, it's canceled, bro." Like, he's like trying to prank, you know. And we're like, "There's no way, dude. Like, I mean, I would have known about that." And he's like, "Look, you know." And it was so corny, dude. It was so bad. And he did it over like, you know how it has like the showcase flyer had like several shows over several. He did it over that whole thing. And I'm like, bro, like, it's not even good.
Yeah, dude. They always want to get you.
Yeah, no.
Talk their shit.
Dude, my dad is one to tell like some pretty like ridiculous jokes too, like long drawn out ones that you're not, and you don't realize it's a joke until like the end.
Yeah.
And you're like, God damn it.
That's funny.
So the two, like, who in Friday you said? Or-
Yeah, because he was like, my dad would just be goofy. You know, he was kind of goofball.
You're talking
He'd be,
about Craig's dad.
Yeah, Craig's dad.
right?
He'd just be
Okay.
walking around, like, kind of just complaining about shit. Like, why are your room so messy? Blah, blah, blah. Like, I'd be like a little kid. He's like, dude, you need to get a job, dude. Like, I'd be like 12
Was
and
it
shit.
John Witherspoon, right?
John
Yeah,
Witherspoon's character.
you know, he's not necessarily just like him, but he was like a playful kind of a shithead. You know what I
Every
mean?
time I'm in the kitchen, you in the kitchen.
Yeah, exactly, dude. My dad would always say shit like that. Like,
Yeah.
man, why are you eating all the food, dude? Like, save some for me. I got work tonight. I want to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He'd say stuff like that.
Yeah.
It would just constantly be like clowning, messing around. But then he, you know, you say something to him that he didn't like. He'd be like, what?
Yeah.
He's like, hey, man. And I'm just like, oh, okay, my bad. You know what I mean? So he had that, like I say Jack Arnold because Jack Arnold wanted the best for his kids.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He was a solid dude.
That's
He
his
went-
character's name.
Yeah, no, that's
Jack
from
Arnold
Wonder
is
Years.
the dad from Wonder Years.
Yeah, because I say my
Oh.
dad's like a mix of those two, like kind of like hard exterior, but like a
I
real
see.
goofy, soft dude on the inside that
I
just
see.
like likes to be playful, likes to like talk shit and have fun. But he's like very loving. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? He wants the best for us.
You know what? I would say my dad is probably a combination of like Robert De Niro's character in like, what is it? Meet the Parents. And Sam Elliott's character in The Ranch.
Oh, okay.
Like, I feel like a combination of that would be him.
I've only met your dad a couple times and he didn't say like a word. I think
Yeah, he's just like
he was just
stoic.
there.
Yeah, he's just still.
I was just in his house, like 14, 15 years old. I'm just like, oh, that's my dad. How's it going, sir?
Yeah, like
He just kind of looked at me.
dude, I like when I was growing up, I'd be like, Dad, like my arm hurts right here, and he's like, oh, does it hurt like when you do that? And I'm like, yeah, and he's like, all right, then don't do that. Like,
That's great.
it's like, oh, how are you doing? I was like, I'm tired. He's like, tired? You have to do something to be tired.
Damn.
It's like, sorry, you don't understand anxiety, Dad.
What about you, Eddie?
My dad reminds me a lot of Jose's dad.
Like,
you said, like the Sam Elliott character.
Because like stoic in a way.
Yeah, but I mean, he even had like the thick mustache and everything. But just like Trevor's dad, like I feel like he had that hard exterior where like he's very serious, but then like he would have his moments where he would crack a joke or something. And like growing up, same thing. Like he would get pissed when we had like our mess in the rooms and stuff.
Yeah.
But it was always like coming from like a good place, like where he's like, I'm doing this to help you later on. In life, like, get your shit together, you know.
Yeah, because I mean like, it's kind of like how we talked before, like when my dad like would threaten to like throw all my shit away if I didn't clean my room.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then one day he did it, and it's not. Yeah, and it was just
same thing with me. Like he'd be like, all right, like when we go to school, like if you're not out there by like 7:30, like I'm leaving without you.
Word.
And one day he did. I'm like, I was never late again, dude.
Dude, dad stand on business, dude.
Yeah.
You have to.
Yeah,
these fools are 10 toes down. Like, no, this shit's happening.
Yeah, and I think. I mean, I wouldn't do something like that to like to Joseph, like leave him or something like that, because like that's sad, you know. But you know, or like throw all his shit away. Like that's super
my dad
sad,
did that to me one time too.
But like I get, like you're saying, like it comes from a good place, because like at the end of the day, like the lesson that's trying to be taught is like fuck around and find out. Like if like you know there's consequences to this shit, you know.
Yeah, every
like
action.
I said, dude, it worked.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Like I woke up early and was on time.
So
But
do you have like maybe a comparison?
I can't really think of anyone off the top of my head. Just like you said, it's like Sam Elliott. Like that's like the closest. After you said that, I'm like, okay, I can kind of see that.
Like dry
But-
humor, stoic.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, my dad was cool, dude. I mean, he rode motorcycles. He had like a bunch of badass like classic muscle cars growing up.
Really?
He would have a ton of records, which I think my mom still has somewhere. But he would always he's like the one he introduced me like before I was even into music, like before I even cared about music. He was listening to
He was
like,
trying to put you onto it.
yeah, he would play like Black Sabbath, Ride Lightning, like all kinds
Oh,
all the
that's
classics,
dope.
you know.
So like he was into like rock like that?
That's all he listens to. I mean, he listens to like his Spanish stuff too, but yeah, like 90% of it was like I guess classic rock now.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, AC/DC, all that stuff.
That's cool.
What do you call it? Yeah, so yeah, kind of like maybe like a mixture between you guys' dads.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, but yeah, I learned a lot.
So was
from
that
him.
was that like the only nerd shit he was into, like cars and stuff?
Well, he's a mechanic, so I mean, in that sense, like, kind of reminds me of Fidel's dad, because like Fidel's dad did shit that would remind me of like my dad too, where like Fidel has told me stories where he's like, hey, like, can you give me a ride? I'm just gonna go like get this really quick or pick this up really quick, and it would take hours.
Yeah.
Or
It
like
turned into a whole day thing.
Or that typical like, hey, hold the flashlight, and you're just getting yelled at for like 3 hours.
Damn.
Yeah, dude.
Hold it like this.
That's the only thing I regret, dude. Like, I wish I would have paid more attention.
Same.
Like, growing up,
Same, dude.
Like, I had everything I needed to know about like cars and everything right there in front of me, and I just didn't care about it.
Same, cause like my dad, like he would try to make me help him, but like I would take one look at all that shit and I'd be like, this is fucking whack,
Yeah, dude.
I'd rather be making beats, dude. Like this sucks, you know. So he wouldn't even bother with it, you know. So he would just and for him it was more efficient to just fucking do it.
Yeah, that's how.
He would go out there, he'd fucking spend a couple hours, and boom, car's done. You know.
And I think it was like kind of like because he was a mechanic, it also made things worse for me, because if I ever had an issue with my car, I never had to deal with it. It was always like, hey, Dad, this is what's wrong with it. Can you do it?
Word.
So like now I just know the basics. I know how to do an oil change, how to, you know, change a fucking tire, little things like that. But
yeah, see, like I'm not good at that shit, because like I mean I don't even know. Like I remember like borrowing one of Alexis's cars back in the day, and it broke down on me, and you know I didn't know what to do. Had it towed back to the house. My dad had to pull up and come give me a hand, and we ended up kind of just looking on YouTube and it ended up being a water pump. So we went to go to the water pump and we fucking, I did it. Yeah. And then like, so I don't know, I'm not going to remember how to do it offhand, but I've done it before. And I remember like how, like what the process is and how not difficult it is,
Yeah.
Like, so, and now I know in that from there, like, okay, when a car breaks down, you have to kind of like, these are your, check 1, 2, 3, 4. You go down like these checklists of things, and like, but no one taught me that, dude. You know, because like my dad was just like, oh shit, there's a problem, solve it. Like, like, like it wasn't like, hey, let me teach you a lesson, son.
Yeah. And because he was a mechanic, like I have like, when I smell cigarettes or like gasoline, dude. Like, I just reminds me of him.
Oh, that's tight.
Like, and he was always in uniform, dude. He was like a fucking cartoon character. Like, when I picture him in my head, like, he's just wearing his fucking uniform, dude.
It's kind of like how I feel about when I hear oldies.
Yeah.
Like, I just think of my dad.
It takes you back.
Yeah.
What about you, Fidel?
Oh, samesies.
Mine's like, my relationship with my dad is a little more complicated just because, like, I didn't really have, like, an actual give and take relationship with him until I was an adult. So like growing up, I just saw this guy wake up in the morning, leave for work, and then I didn't see him until like maybe sometimes when I'd go to sleep, but then sometimes like I wouldn't even see him until the next morning when I was getting ready for school and he would leave to work. So in my head, like he was always just working or doing like side jobs. Like that's all he did was work.
Yeah.
And then the times that were spent at home, him being at home, it was just like drug use. So like I've seen my dad like high, I've seen my dad coming down, and like I've caught him a few times like cooking shit and just, so it was never really a relationship like that, like where I learned anything from him really. A lot of the shit I know now, like I guess like as a young man, was taught to me by my older sister. Like she's the one that fucking taught me how to pee standing up. Just because, like, I was in a house full of women and they didn't fucking care about closing the door to use the restroom.
No, that's real, dude.
Yeah, so, like, whenever I had to take a piss, I'd sit down. Because that's what I saw, And then my older sister, like, Mary Lou, she'd be like, it's like, oh, you're peeing like a pussy. I'm going to... She's like, you're not going to... She's like, no brother of mine's going to be a fucking pussy. She's like, you need to stand up.
Oh, my God, dude.
Yeah, she was the older brother that I didn't have, basically.
Damn.
And, like, I was a crybaby, dude.
That's brutal.
And, like, whenever I start crying, she'd fuck me up. She'd be like, no, like, now you can really cry. Like,
jeez.
Yeah. But at the same time, she was also, like, my protector, I guess.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, like, it was complicated with my dad.
So it was kind of like as if you had a dad, in a way.
And more like an older brother.
No, like an older brother. Okay.
Yeah, more like an older. Because she was very protective of me, but, like, she was also kind of my bully, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, because she would always say shit to me like that, like, she would fuck me up and be like, oh, they're love taps because I don't want you to grow up to be a pussy. Like, I don't want you to be a bitch. And then, like, I'd walk in her room. She's like, damn, I thought I smelled ass. Like,
dude, my dad would do that to me, dude.
Yeah, so
Dude,
like,
that's hilarious.
So, like, there was, like, a couple years, like, once I turned, when I turned 16, that's when my dad, like, kind of just left us, like, left my mom, but in the process, like, left my little sister and me.
Like, went out for cigarettes and never came back?
Basically, yeah.
Oh,
like,
shit.
I remember, like, he had told, like, my grandma, she was at the house, and because, like, things with my mom and dad were getting really bad, and because my mom used to beat the shit out of him all the time. And I remember he, like, had promised my grandma, like, oh, I love your daughter, like, I'm never leaving. And then the next day went to work, and then I didn't see him for, like, almost a year.
Oh, shit. That's
Yeah.
a long-ass time, dude.
Yeah. And then, I mean, a lot of it was because of me, because he would try to reach out, but I was just like, nah, fuck this guy. Like, I didn't really have a relationship anyway with him. So, like, he just fucking left. So, like, I don't want anything to do with him. Mm-hmm. And then my mom is the one that actually was like, no, like, no matter what, like, that's your dad. Like, you should talk to him no matter how I feel about him. And so I ended up kind of starting to, like, talk to him more. And I remember my mom's van had broke down. So I went and to meet up with my dad so he could, like, look at it. And then, oh, dude, I remember, like, I was just so fucking mad. And I was, like, 19 at the time. But I was just so mad that I had to deal, like, I had to see him, basically.
Yeah.
And I could see it in his face, like, he was nervous. And then I, like, went off on him because he was like, oh, he asked me, what grade are you in now? and I went off on him.
Dude.
Yeah. So like we didn't have like I guess a sit down, like a conversation, kind of hashing shit out until maybe like 4 or 5 years ago.
No shit.
And all because I always told myself, whatever, I'm over it. Me and my dad kind of talk now. Like we have a civil relationship. You know, like my dad's funny, and it's always funny to see see him interact with other people, and he makes people laugh, and everybody's like, "Oh, your dad's such a nice guy." And in my head, I'm just like, "Yeah, like you don't really know him the way I know him." So, but the what sparked the conversation I had with him was I saw my stepbrother posted for Father's Day, posted my dad, and went on put this big old paragraph about how much of an amazing dad he was to him, he stepped up for him, and that got to me, not in a way where it made me sad, it pissed me off, and I had called my sister and told her I feel like this is so fucked up because we didn't experience this with him, but then somebody else's kid did, you know,
mm-hmm.
and then I was kind of throwing the whole fact and then he's now my little brother is too, but I was like, you know what, whatever, he's little, it's not his fault.
Yeah,
basically.
it's not their fault.
Yeah, it's not their fault.
Yeah.
And then my sister told my dad about it because she has a stronger relationship with him than I do, and so my dad was finally kind of let's talk, we need to talk, and so we kind of hashed things out. There's still some things that he wouldn't
admit.
Yeah, he wouldn't admit, or he wouldn't take responsibility for. But for the most part, there was some things that kind of took me by surprise that I didn't realize was suppressed trauma that I had. Because I have this thing about it's gonna sound kind of silly, but dancing, just dancing in general.
What do you mean?
I'm very self-conscious about it, and I do not like doing it.
Okay.
Because I'm very self-conscious about it, which is kind of weird to think about because I have a lot of memories of being a kid and just dancing all the time and with no shame. And and I love music. I've always loved music.
Yeah.
So he brought up this fact. I have no memory of this, but apparently there was a time where he came home and my mom was making food, and she had her music playing, and I was dancing, and he's scolded me for it, and called me a faggot, and he's only women dance to this kind of music. You shouldn't be doing that, and I started crying, and he told me I was stupid for crying or something. He was telling me all this, and I have no memory of this. And I was like, maybe that's why I feel the way I feel.
Oh, shit.
Of course, yeah, of course.
So he brought that up?
He brought that up. I had no memory of it.
So, that's something
that must have been something,
He had been chewing on that for quite some time.
Yeah.
He probably saw, how you stopped dancing altogether after that, possibly.
Maybe.
And was just kind of oh, damn, I fucked that up.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That is crazy, dude.
So, when I, the whole concept of what movie characters I don't have that.
Oh, of
because since we've had this idea, I was thinking about it.
Will's dad or what?
What about your sister?
No, but he's talking about as the comparison.
No, I know, but if she was, if she took up the role, you know what I mean? Sometimes they say the best dads are moms, you know what I'm saying? That shit's real. Some women can raise these kids out here a little better than some dads. Some dads probably shouldn't be there to raise those kids unless they act right, you know what I mean? Or get their shit together in a proper way. Because kids are sponges, dude. Everything affects, what you just said. It's mind blowing because it's real. It's real life, dude. Something will come up and you're like, why do I feel weird about that? That has something to it. You know what I mean? That whole thing that you just said, dude. My dad was helping me put up blinds right after I bought my house. My dad was helping me put up blinds, and out of nowhere he was like, "Mijo, I'm sorry." And I was like, "For what, dude? hand me that drill, dude. I just gotta put this shit in." And he's like, "Man, I was mean to you when you were a kid, dude. I remember you wear those tight pants, and I called you a faggot, and that shit, I know that hurt you." And I was just like, what's going on right now, dude? I thought we were just putting up blinds, and he starts getting all teary-eyed. And I was like, hey man, it's cool, dude. I don't trip on that no more. You know what I mean? I'm in a better spot now. I'm not tripping on it. He's like, really? And I was like, yeah. And he gave me a hug, and I was just like, damn, dude. Like what you just said, he'd been chewing on that for a minute. Yeah. It kind of took me by surprise and kind of shock. I was like, wow. But I was like, you know what? Good for him, dude. He's graduating as a human being. You know what I mean?
I remember being about 20-ish, or so, and and I have no recollection of having this conversation with my mom. But my dad had approached me, and he was like, he comes to my room, and he's like, he sits down, like, you know, like he wants to talk, which is like not something he would just do, you know.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey man, I wanted to talk to you about something. I'm like, oh fuck, like
What'd I do?
what can this, so I'm just trying to think, like, man, what could this be about? Like, I'm an adult, so like, what the fuck? And he was like, so your mom was telling me about how, like, you had asked her if you were to like be a janitor, like, as your job, if I would be proud of you, you know, because I think at the time I was just kind of trying to like shop around for like a different job option, and he told me, he was like something like you know, it's not a matter of like what you're doing, you know, it's how you're doing it, you know, like if you're working hard and you're doing it your best, and you know you're doing it in support of your family because because you love them and they come first, like how am I not going to be proud of that, you know, like what you're doing is not important, it's like are you making it happen, that's all that matters, you know, and like I would be proud of anything that you did, you know. And then like later he like kind of just it made it seem like as if it made him contemplate like am I giving off like this aura that like, you know, there's like like it's expectation of what like a man needs to be, like, you know, and did I like, as if it made him contemplate like, damn, like am I giving like the wrong like impression here, you know?
Yeah.
And it got I guess like it made him like kind of chew on it for some time, and you know, and I don't know, I kind of felt like it made him feel a little bit like softer, you know what I mean? Like his approach is to be like more supportive, like, because I mean I was his firstborn son, or his first child, you know, and like I'm becoming an adult, you know, so I can imagine like, you know, he's trying to adapt to that, you know. And I mean, as a parent, like, you know, I can see that there's different phases between like when there's a kid's a toddler and like say where my kids are at now, where they're not toddlers anymore. Like I'm growing up with them in that sense, you know. So was this dude, right? And I remember later down like the line at another point, it was after this, not too long, you know, I was kind of like feeling discouraged, I guess, you know. And he sent me this video, in an email, and it was a video of like this dude was running track, and he like injured himself while running, and he was like oh shit, and he got up and he's like he like was having trouble, like he injured his leg pretty bad, like, and he was doing really good.
Wow, what a loser.
But I guess what had happened was like this dude stormed the track, right?
Yeah.
And you see security following him, and it turns out like it was his dad, and he picked him up, and he helped carry him across the finish line because they were very close. He's very close, and in the body of the email he said something like, you know, like you know, even though like it may seem like you're not like you're it's a losing fight, you know, like I'll always be there to help you finish, like nonetheless, like I got your back, you know. And it kind of like, I guess maybe that you know, that what my mom kind of telling him about that made him think, and kind of maybe like the Grinch, like his heart like kind of grew a couple sizes, you know what I mean, like in a way, you know. So like I don't know.
It's hard being a dad.
Yeah, dude. I mean,
dude, this shit is not easy. I'm 3 years deep, and I'm just like, I wake up sometimes, I'm like, I'm a dad. Like, I've been a dad for 3 years, but it's still mind blowing to me. I was telling Alexis this earlier. I was like, this is crazy still. You know what I mean? He's a different human being now than he was last year, like completely different. Yeah. And it's ever evolving. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I'm going to be here with him for the rest of mine and his life. You know what I mean? Like, it's a heavy thing. Yeah. Super heavy. So like, when I think about my dad and how he was when I was a kid, and he had 2 more than I did at a young age, like 31, 3 kids. Yeah. It's heavy, you know? So I've learned to like be accepting of my father in his ways that he was when he was stressed out, dude. Like that's such a big, like a house, a wife, 3 kids at that young. I'm 36. I had Santi at like 33, and I only have one, and it's hard. And I couldn't imagine that. You know what I mean? So I don't like condemn him, but I don't condone his behavior. You know what I mean? And he's admitted to it. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I should have been better, but I didn't know anything else. Because his dad, he was raised by his stepfather. He didn't even know his real dad. Yeah. You know, his real dad was in Vietnam and then went to Missouri.
How old was he when you were born?
My dad was 24 when I was born, and my mom was just 21.
How old was your dad when you were born?
Dude, I have no idea.
Damn.
No, I know my dad's 30 years older than me, so I assume he was 30, like about to be 31, I think, or about to be 30.
He was in his high 20s. He was probably 28, 29, I think.
Yeah.
What about you, Fidel?
My dad was 21 when I was born.
Really?
My dad was 21 and my mom was 30.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Really?
They have that much of an age difference. So I'm my dad's oldest, but I'm my mom's middle child.
Wild.
Yeah.
Wild.
Yeah. And then like going back to the conversation like that I did have with my dad, I did come to like an understanding like, okay, like I understand why he had to leave the way he did, like the family basically. Cause like thinking back on the situation we were in, like, and all the shit I just witnessed, like
if my dad enabling him too much.
Well, if my dad would have stayed, he would have died. He would have been dead, whether by like the drug use or by my mom's hand. Because there was like multiple times I had to like stop my mom from like stabbing him. Like I had to like take a knife out of her hand.
That's so crazy to me.
Like my mom was physically like just torturous towards him. And like looking back at it, like it's crazy because I would always see him as a villain. I don't know why. Maybe just because I never saw him. I just saw my mom.
Maybe because you're around your mom more, and she was always kind of spitting that type of stuff. That's how it works, dude. Because like my parents went through a rough divorce, dude. Like they separated in '98, so I was 10, maybe, I think 98. I was 10. It was gnarly, dude. Like the whole back and forth, the talking of each other in front of us, and you're just like, I have to hide my little brother and sister and stuff like that because I don't want them to hear it. The fighting, like cops got called a couple times, and it's like it's intense, dude. Like, you know, my dad drank a lot. You know, my mom did her thing too, but it was just like, it was a lot. It was, you know, and it puts something on a kid. You're really confused. I feel like I was very confused a lot as a kid. Like, what is going on? Like, why are you guys so mad? Like, why do we have to watch this right now? Like, can't we just like go watch a movie and chill? Like, you know, and then like my dad moved away. My mom lived in the house, and then he came back, and then we had to leave. And we moved in with my stepdad at his parents' house because he was young. My mom's 8 years older than my stepdad. He was like 29, and I was 14, and my mom was, you know, whatever, 27 years later, 30 something. But like even my stepdad, dude, he was a good he's a good dude. Like he stepped up when like my dad kind of dipped out for a little bit. So I feel like how you are with, you know, you're there. Maybe not like how he was like with us, but it's like similar. So like I have a really big place in my heart for people like you in that way. Because it's cool, because sometimes kids are confused and they're like, all right, well, I don't know your situation. But for me, I was like, I don't know what to do, dude. Like my dad's gone. This is like a whole new situation. But he was cool. I hated him right away. It took a lot because I was like, who the fuck is this fool? Like
that's what I was afraid of going into that like situation with Anna.
Yeah.
That was the one thing I was afraid of. Like aside from like the whole thing in my head, like I don't know if I can do this. Like I don't know if I'm capable of being in a situation like this, you know, and like or if I even want to be in a situation like this. But that was the one thing. Like, what if they fucking hate me just off the bat, and then they just do not give me a chance? And like, is that gonna put a strain on our relationship? But like, luckily, like her kids are very smart, very mature, and like. They immediately gravitated towards me.
I mean, that's a reflection of like of the job that she's doing.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And she's a great mother, dude. Like seeing her, like the way she is with the kids is just like fuck. Like it constantly makes me feel like I wish like I had a mom like that. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome, dude. That's really beautiful. Seeing women become mothers is really cool.
Yeah.
It's like it's sick. I've watched Neri take this role on, and she's so good at it. Like. It's like natural, you know what I mean? But it's like you see him, you're like, damn, dude, like, how are you so good at this? This fool just slapped me in the face right now. He just walked right back up to you and hugged you. You know what I mean? Like, he just like in little boys and moms, you know what I mean? I know there's a dad episode, but it's like it's all relevant. You
Yeah,
know what I
yeah.
mean? It's all relevant because it's like sometimes you lean on your dad, sometimes you lean on your mom. Like, oh no, dad ain't gonna be cool with this. All right, I'm gonna go hit up mom real quick. She'll probably go for it.
Eddie has a notebook, dude.
Yeah, he does.
He's bursting at the seams, dude.
That's just my anxiousness, dude. I need a fidget spinner, dude.
Do you have anything written down, like
Just movies and stuff.
Yeah.
I had like a whole different like thing in my head.
Yeah, same.
But you know what? It's funny though.
I got a bunch too.
Yeah,
No, yeah.
But to touch on that, like the first movie I wrote down was Hook.
Yeah.
I got hooked too.
Yeah.
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 Why do you guys say that?
Just cause like I think that was like a positive thing to watch when I was a little kid.
Yeah, even though you're it's kind of like it's hard not to acknowledge that you're like, damn, that dad's kind of fucking up, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like at least on the front end, and then you see him kind of like, you know, try, you know, at later, you know.
Especially if you grew up in a household with yelling.
But
So you understand. Well, then you understand how the kids feel.
Yeah.
When he yells, you're like, damn, dude, like, I felt that.
Yeah.
Even though I was like 4 when that came out, I felt it.
Well, there wasn't like yelling in my house, and I remember like seeing a scene. I'm just like, damn, like he's wee mad.
there wasn't really like any of that in my house, like the whole yelling. Like I've never saw my dad yell at my mom or anything or fight like that. So when I would go over to like, especially like my white homies, and their dad's just calling their mom a bitch and all this. I'm like, what?
That's
the fuck,
crazy.
dude?
That's fucking wild.
I'm like,
Dude.
yeah, but I got pizza though, so I'm good. You know,
Dude, if my dad called my mom a bitch,
dude,
like
I've had some friends where I'm just like, this is normal to you. Like,
she would write that shit on his tombstone, dude. For sure.
yeah, dude, I can't even imagine that word coming out of my dad's mouth.
For sure.
Like,
I've seen my dad like lose his shit, but like it's only cause like I would never see him like angry, but it was kind of like, oh fuck, this dude's mad, dude.
no, that's not
Like,
dude,
it's,
when
like-
my dad was mad. I was like, fuck.
Yeah, like it's really bad. Like
I'm gonna go to my room.
Yeah, dude.
Chill.
Yeah, that same.
That was my mom in my house.
Really?
Yeah, my dad wasn't an angry person. He was always on the defensive. Like you've met my dad, right?
Yeah.
And I know Eddie has. I don't know if you guys ever noticed he has like lumps on his forearms.
No.
Especially, I think on his right one, there's like a huge lump. That was from.
Is that how you were born? You grew out of this
Yeah,
farm?
I agree. Yeah. That was from my mom breaking a BB gun, trying to break it over his head, but he put his arm up and it broke over his arm, and he has
my
like
God,
a
dude.
forever lump on his arm.
Thank God he was quick.
Forever love.
Forever lump. I wanna be forever lump. Do you really want to be? All right.
Dude, you have such a good singing voice, dude. I can like. I just want to record. I want to record you just like singing something, and I want to listen to it when I go to sleep, dude.
Whack.
I kind of did what Eddie did. I kind of like wrote stuff down about these fools.
I got more like questions that I had going.
Like for Hook, I put like from Lost Boy to corporate shill, the poor bastard lost his way, and it took Hook swooping his children up for him to buck up and blast off into full Panda Man mode, truly combining the roles of being a father and the sole protector of Neverland.
Fuck yeah.
Damn,
I
dude.
like thought about this shit, dude. I was faded on my couch,
I
just
was
like,
gonna say, dude.
Oh, that's
dude,
good,
baby
yeah,
was
that's
asleep.
awesome.
Baby was asleep. Nary's in the other room reading a book. Like I was like, I'm gonna sit there and think about this because I have a whole list: Carl Winslow, Danny Tanner, Mr. Jones from Friday, Steve Carell in the movie Beautiful Boy.
I had
Oh
asked-
yes,
dude.
Dude,
Oh my God.
I wrote enduring, understanding, devastated, confused.
Dude,
Oh man, that movie is fucking heartbreaking.
That
Dude.
hits you.
Yeah,
dude, I am Sam, dude.
yeah.
Like even someone who has what would you like a disability that affects like his, you know, just kind of normal everyday day to day like impairments or delays, if you will, but still being able to like recognize what his responsibility as a father is, and not because like he has to, but like he was like what are you talking about, like, you know, I can't see my daughter, you know, like that's pretty intense though too. I had asked Alexis what she thought, and the two that she gave me was Geppetto.
Oh, that's a good one.
She said Geppetto because he was so sweet, because he didn't have anybody, just Figaro and Cleo.
Single dad life, homie.
and he built a puppet out of wood so that he can make believe that he has a little son, and he prayed to have a little son, and that's how the angel like brought him to life, and he like got him ready for school, like he like went full dad mode, and she thought that he was very sweet, and then the fact that he was able to like he went to go find him and rescue him, go into the belly of the whale and everything, She said that just stood out to being like to her like one of the best dads. That, and then she said Will Smith in Pursuit of Happiness.
Ooh, yeah,
that's a good one. That's a tough one.
Those are the ones that she said.
That's a tough one.
One that I don't know if Fidel was gonna mention was Splinter.
Dude.
Oh,
I got him too. I was gonna say that right now. Dude.
Yeah.
Okay, I wrote a whole thing.
That was
dude.
the second one I wrote.
He adopted 3 kids just cause.
Yeah,
and they got
he taught
and they got into some shit immediately.
He taught them ninjutsu, dude. Like,
But I particularly the first movie, the original, especially the one that always got me was when he's talking to Raphael about his anger.
Yeah.
Like I was like, I can relate to that, dude.
what does he say?
I had the whole quote pulled up and I lost it, but
Can you paraphrase it?
can you?
Essentially, because the speech happens right after Raphael like has his encounter with Casey Jones, right?
Yeah.
Oh, and he's like, I hate punkers, right?
After that encounter, Raphael comes back, and he basically gives Raphael this speech of like, why are you facing your anger by yourself? Like, you have this support system around you. Like, use it. Like, you don't have to be alone. Like, we're here for you. Like, your brothers and myself are here for you. Like, don't face this on your own, because like, what's the quote? He says something like, by itself, facing it by itself is an unconquerable enemy, but like if you have your support, you're able to conquer it.
Okay.
So essentially,
You should. Yeah. I don't want to look that, but yeah, dude, it's a great quote,
speech.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't remember it offhand, Like I know what part you're talking. It's Dylan. It's Dylan. Shout out Dylan.
Damn, Dylan.
Dylan gave me one. I asked Dylan too, and his response was Tim the Toolman Taylor.
Fire. Fire. That's a good one.
And his reasoning was, when I asked him why, is because he said he's the man, and he's good with his hands. He like build shit.
Dude, Darth Vader, Jose.
Yeah, that's one that I
mean, that's
contemplated.
easy. That's kind of right there.
Nah, but he's irredeemable because he committed genocide on kids.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, he's a mass murderer.
That's kind of how I feel about Carl Winslow, because he's a cop, so he automatically sucks. But although insightful and always tried to do the right thing.
I would say that the first Ninja Turtles movie is actually a great film to watch, to see like the two sides of fatherhood, because you have Splinter and being like the wise mentor and like the protector of these kids, and then you have Shredder creating this like de facto family or whatever,
trying to give these disenfranchised type kids a place to feel,
but he's
where they belong.
He's like taking advantage of
he's manipulating them.
Yeah. So
damn, that's interesting.
I did write the greatest dad movie of all, a Goofy movie.
Oh,
dude, I knew you were gonna say that.
Just watch that one. Just watch that one. That's a great one,
dude. For sure.
Yeah. I think that's always gonna be
Alphabet Soup, dude.
Mm-hmm. Hi Dad Soup.
Hi Dad Soup. That's what it is. Hi Dad Soup.
What I had
Bigfoot.
What I had kind of going here is like just different kinds of questions to kind of like keep it going. Like what fictional dads like don't get enough credit.
Hal from Malcolm in the Middle.
Oh, for real?
Damn, that's a good one.
For
dude.
real?
That fool had ADHD, dude. For sure, dude. He was everywhere. And that mom shitted on him on the regular, but he was always there for those boys.
That's a good one.
Always there, and always there to like happily kind of mess everything up. But they were just like, dude, this is dad. You know what I mean? Like, they knew he was crazy. They loved him, though.
What about Corey Matthews' dad? Mr. Matthews.
Yeah, but he was a racist in American History X. So.
Yeah, dude, that kind of messed me up. That messed me up when I was a kid.
I was like, wait, no, stop.
Yeah,
no, Sean and Corey's dad.
Yeah.
No. What was his brother? Eric.
Yeah.
No, but hey, that's a good.
That is a good one.
I did make a list of bad dads in movies.
I got that too.
Shredder or what?
So let's go. Let me hear it.
All right, first one I wrote.
Hi, Nora.
Milos in Serbian film.
Oh my god!
Hands
Get
down.
the fuck out, homie.
I'm done, dude. All right, guys.
That's all the time we have. Nah, dude, that That's terrible. Why would you say that?
He's a bad dad. Dude.
Dad moment.
What's up, Naraya?
Hi.
What are you doing? You want to sit down? You want to say hi?
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Hi. All right, spill the beans. Is your dad a good dad?
Is my dad a good dad?
No, I was asking her.
Oh, is her? Yeah. You better say it.
Bad dads. Who's another bad dad? Jim Carrey in Liar Liar. Initially, off the bat, a
He
horrible
redeems himself,
father.
His
right?
claw was significantly
Dude,
better.
off the bat,
Hey, fuck Carrie always, homie.
dude, off the bat, the promise not show up thing, that's a breath taker for a little guy, dude. When I saw that as a kid, I was like, damn, dude.
No, you know which dad or like dad character gets a lot of hate that I don't feel is deserved is Pierce Brosnan and Mrs. Doubtfire.
Pierce Brosnan and Mrs.
He's a
Stu,
stepdad.
It's more of a thick soup than a name.
So yeah, he's like the stepdad, but he's kind of like played off as like the villain, but
He's not.
he's
trying
not.
to-
The
He's trying
wife
to come
is,
in
the
and-
ex-wife is the villain.
Yeah. Miranda
She's the villain.
sucks.
Yeah, no, she's like he was acting fucking insane because she drove him to that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, Robin Williams is who I'm referring to.
If my dad did that, dude, I'd be hella freaked out.
For
I'd be like, hey, dog, what are you doing, man?
But
Get out of my room,
but,
dude.
like, that's
I
what-
know that's you, Dad.
But he
How did
felt-
those kids not know?
I mean, that was pretty convincing, dude. Like, all I'm saying is like for me, like just from that, like I mean, it looks to me, it's like, dude, like that's the extent that he had to go in order to have something, you know, like like what was he doing that was so bad that he could not see them at all, you know?
Yeah.
Like he was a goofball. Like that doesn't sound like, you know, grounds for termination, if you will.
He didn't have steady work. He's just gotten fired.
I understand that that's like a problem for like, you know, family dynamic economically,
They
but
lived in
like,
San Francisco.
but I mean, dude, like,
Yeah.
I don't know. That's kind of
Why'd you keep him from the kids like that?
That's kind of it's an inappropriate reaction to the situation.
No,
in
for
my
sure.
opinion.
No,
you know?
no, for sure. I understand her, but I get what you were saying too. Because I mean, I didn't like her when I was a little kid. I was like, man, that's messed up. Like, why does he got to go through all this just to see his kids?
Yeah, because that fool's being a good guy. It's kind of like in Santa Claus. Like that kid's stepdad. Like he's a therapist and he's just being a good guy. You know,
Dude,
and
if
the dad's just a hater, dude.
Dude, if I came home and there was like a horse in my house and cake everywhere and all my homies were there, I'd be so hyped. Like, why are you doing this to Dad?
Yeah.
He just made it pop off right now. Like, you know, I don't know. I felt like she was a little hard on him.
Well, what else you got, Eddie?
Al Bundy.
Dude.
As a good dad?
I got him on there too. Wasted talent, dude. Wasted talent. Wasted talent.
Hey,
Did-
I want to work at the shoe store he worked at, homie.
right?
He supported the whole family in that big ass house at a fucking women's shoe store.
Dude, we don't
Come
talk
on.
about that. Homer Simpson.
Oh, but it was a nuclear power plant. Though.
But dude, 3-bedroom, 2-story house. Everyone's always hating on him, but he's doing pretty good. I mean, like nowadays, that's pretty solid.
Yeah.
He was kind of a bumbling idiot, but like he meant well.
Yeah.
He says beautiful things. Dude, Simpsons episodes make me cry.
Oh yeah.
Straight
dude.
up, dude. I've seen them like, oh, God. Or, like the whole like Maggie when she says Dada. You know what I mean? She takes it out, says it when he walks away.
Yeah.
Just like, man, that was so beautiful. Especially because now I got a little kid, you know? There's so many good dads on TV growing up, dude. Like what I said, Hal from Malcolm Middle, that's just one I grew up with. Hank Hill, King of the
Hill.
Hill. Mm-hmm. Dude, when he made Bobby smoke all those cigarettes,
Dude.
he's just always so worried about Bobby. He's just like, no, that ain't right.
That ain't right. Well, okay, a bad dad, Danny DeVito and Matilda.
Oh, yeah, he's a dick.
Yeah, he's scum, dude.
When he's giving her shit for reading a book while they're watching TV.
What do you?
He's like, what are you reading? She's like, Moby Dick from Herman Melville. Moby what? He's like, you'll not be reading this trash, and he starts ripping the book.
Dude, fucking, have you ever seen the movie This Boy's Life?
No.
Oh, damn, dude, it's Robert De Niro and Leonardo DiCaprio. And
Yeah.
Leonardo DiCaprio is pretty young in it. And Robert De Niro, he plays his stepdad in it. And it's rough, dude. Like, yeah, he's just kind of like, I don't know. He's domineering. He just like beats the hell out of him. He's like one of those like, he wants to be a tough guy. He wants people to respect him, but nobody really does. They kind of just take him as a joke, and he lets that all out on this kid. And it's sad. He's like one of the. I remember watching it as a kid and be like, dude, this guy is the worst. Like, such a shitty dad. Just like, why is he whooping on this kid for no reason? Like, calling him names, like just poking at him, like just doing stuff like that, poking him in the chest. I remember thinking, like, dang, dude, like, he's not a good person. Why are you letting this guy be around your kids?
All right, what about Robert De Niro in A Bronx Tale?
Beautiful father. I got that in here too, dude. He did the right thing. The working man's a sucker, dad.
Oh, dude.
No, he's not. The working man's the real gangster.
Dude.
All right, I got Old Boy.
Dude, what the fuck, homie?
I've never seen that movie.
Oh my god. No,
Have you seen that movie?
Oh, we're still on Worst Dads?
we're kind of going back and forth.
I'm choosing like fucked up dads.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I've never seen Old Boy.
Oh man, great movie, dude.
What about the
I
step?
don't. You said a Serbian film was a great movie, dude.
Oh no,
It is a
dude.
great
That's
movie.
just messed up.
No,
That shit's messed up.
Old Boy is.
Old Boy is a
fucking-
great movie.
But it has a.
It has a fucked up ending, like a fucked up twist.
Is it a Japanese
Really?
movie?
Yeah, they did like an American remake, and they kind of like did a different twist, no? Or was it the same? I haven't seen the American
I don't
remake.
think I finished it, but I heard it's good. But I would just watch the original if you ever do. Great
That-
movie. Didn't we see it like recently?
No, I haven't seen it in a while.
They played it at the Frida.
You
Okay.
don't invite me anywhere
Okay.
anymore.
That was a couple of years ago. I didn't know you then.
Ever since Eddie became a dad, he doesn't hit me up anymore.
That's what's up.
It
That's
happens,
what's up.
dude. It happens, dude.
What about
So if anything, Eddie reminds me of my dad.
what about Denzel and He Got Game?
Dang, I actually never seen that.
shit.
No,
Nah.
dude, you gotta watch that one. It's good, dude. He's in prison. Well, I can't tell you about it, but it's a pretty good one, dude. It's like he comes out of a really bad situation and he's trying to help his son out in the best way he can, but he's kind of doing it in a shady way. But it all kind of comes back around where he ends up coming to the better way of doing things. He ends up having to go back to prison, but you got to watch it, dude. It's a really good. He starts off shitty, ends off really good, and you watch his son go through all these different things. Well, the whole thing is like his son's trying to become a professional basketball player. He's really good. Everyone in the city and in the borough that he lives in knows about him. Like, he's the guy, you know?
Okay.
And all these people want him to go to these different colleges, you know, and the governor knows about him. You know, all these people know about him. Everyone's like, go here, go here, go here, go here. And his dad gets involved and all this stuff, but it's pretty good. The reason his father's in jail is pretty much why the movie is so good. You got to see it. I can't tell you.
Yeah, I gotta watch that one.
It's a good one, dude. It's a Spike Lee movie.
Okay. What about Mahershala
Joint.
Ali and Moonlight?
Oh, fuck. I watched that movie. I can't remember that.
He was like
He took him in, right?
kind of took him in, and he was kind of not making him, but like kind of teaching him those values of like kind of just defend yourself and don't be ashamed of who you are. Because like
Yeah.
you've seen the movie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
it's a beautiful movie.
He
Yeah.
knew he was gay.
Yeah, but like the scene specifically is when like I think they're having breakfast, and then he like says something like, "Oh, somebody like called me a faggot," and then he's like, "You can be gay, but don't ever let anybody talk to you that way." Basically,
Yeah.
like you just defend yourself, but don't be ashamed of who you are.
Yeah. That shit's so gangster.
Yeah, dude.
Dude.
And like his character is like he's like a fucking hardened like gangster type.
Yeah. He's
So you would think that
He's
he
like-
would
he's a
go the
drug
other
dealer,
way
right?
with it. Yeah. So and like you would think he would be the stereotype of like it would go the other way.
I
Of,
love
like,
that movie.
Yeah, that
That's a
movie is
good
so
movie.
beautiful.
Yeah, it's gorgeous to look at.
Yeah.
Come back to shitty dads.
All right.
Daniel Plainview. There will be blood,
Oh,
Oh.
my God.
dude.
I've abandoned
Yeah.
my child.
Dude.
Dude.
Yeah.
That ending when they're in his office, and he loses his hearing.
Yeah.
And he's making him tell him that he what does he make him say? But he makes him talk, knowing that he can't. And it was just so hard to watch. I'm like, damn, dude, you used this kid for your advantage all your life. And even now as a grown up, you still not getting him that dignity, dude.
Yeah, dude. Ass.
When he sent him away,
Dude, yeah.
that scene is so gnarly. Just a typical train pulling off, but it like you're watching this kid be like, "What?
Like, you're not coming?"
What?"
Yeah, dude. Shitty dad. Awesome character though.
Yeah, no, for real.
You guys ever seen Radio Flyer?
Yes.
The stepdad in Radio
Yeah,
Flyer.
yeah, dude.
The king.
He beat the shit out of that kid.
Yeah, he came in like a wolf in sheep's clothing and took advantage of the weakest one in the family.
Yeah, dude.
Because he was so insecure about himself. He was such an alcoholic piece of shit.
Remember I told you? I was telling you.
And then these kids have to pretty much make believe a world in order to escape what is happening inside of their home.
Yeah.
To get the little brother Bobby out of there.
Yeah, a trauma response for kids who are clearly like, what, 10?
Yeah, and maybe 5,
Dude.
6. And they're the whole thing is like, we got to get him on this bike that flies. We got to get him out of here. Then they turn their wagon into something that they could launch. The radio flyer.
Radio Flyer.
It's a great movie.
It's the one
dude.
I told you guys about that has
Tom Hanks.
that has it's Elijah Wood.
Yeah.
And the kid who is like the little brother in Jurassic Park.
And the therapist from Sopranos is the mom.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
And the dad has also been in the stepdad's also been in other movies as well. But he's kind of like a know the face, not the name type guy.
Yeah, but you don't really get to see his face a whole lot.
No,
you
only a
see him
couple times.
You see him from maybe like the elbows down.
That's the whole
time.
point. It's supposed to be from their perspective. Like
Yeah.
you see him as this domineering, bigger person.
Think about it as how you see like, you know, when they're looking for ET, like you just see like
keys jangling.
yeah,
and stuff.
keys, jeans, boots, and flashlights. You know, like it's something kind of like that. But you get all of like the kids and the mom.
I'm glad you said that.
What?
Bad dad, E.T. Where's he at?
Well, I mean, he could have died. I don't know.
No, he left. He left it for another woman. They talked about it. In
Really?
E.T.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh shit!
Like he took off somewhere or something.
really?
Yeah. Another bad dad. Forrest Gump. His dad went on vacation. Never came back.
He's on vacation.
Yeah. Yeah, dude.
Same movie. Great dad. Forrest Gump.
Yeah,
Stepped up.
he did.
That wasn't his kid, dude. I don't believe it.
No.
You don't believe it?
I don't believe
No,
that
I don't
was his
believe it
kid.
either.
Yeah, Jenny.
Jenny was
took
a terrible
kinda-
person.
She was for the streets, dog.
Yeah,
Yeah.
She took advantage of
She
that.
took
false
advantage
kindness.
of that guy. Yeah.
Yeah. Trauma response.
Yeah.
She had a rough, horrible life. Bad dad.
She
Dude, Forrest
went
Gump is
back to
full
where
of
she
them.
felt was safe.
She was molested, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
by her dad.
By
Yeah.
her dad, right?
Yeah.
So that's
Fuck,
another
dude.
shitty dad. in that
Bad
movie.
dad. That's what I'm saying. Forrest Gump has boom, 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 boom.
Damn, that's crazy.
Multiple fathers, multiple different types of fathers.
Hey,
Yeah.
Forrest Gump the goat though. He drank 16 Dr. Peppers.
Finding Nemo's dad.
Dude,
Hella
Marlon,
good dad. Hella
Marlon's the
good
man.
dad.
Marlon's
Dude.
the man. Non-stop,
sure.
dude. Relentless effort. My son loves Finding Nemo.
That's a good movie.
Dude, it's
It
a
is a
great
good
movie. It's a great movie. I love Dory. Marlon has to just like be with Dory the whole time, and she's just going. He's just like, ah. It's just always been him and his son. But I mean, that's the best part because it's him coming out of his shell too.
Yeah.
He has to go out there. He has to do something he's completely terrified of, but it's his baby.
Yeah.
So he's got to do it.
Yeah, because he's scared though. Because I mean, what happened to the like how that whatever the fuck that thing was, killed the mom and every other egg.
I think it's those are called like carps or something like that. It's like a type of, or maybe a barracuda, but I don't imagine that being over there. I don't know what Australian waters are like or where they are.
Yeah.
One movie that I feel is underrated, Titan.
What?
Oh, dude. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. Titan. Julie de Cornu, I think.
I can't.
French filmmaker. She did all Titan. What? Raw, and then what was the other one that came out recently? There was another one. I can't remember.
Wasn't it?
And then she has another film coming out. But Titan, dude, that movie is one of those movies that obviously Eddie's suggestion, so it's kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
But it kind of throws curveballs at you because it makes you think, because you go in with that mindset like, okay, this is a fucked up movie. This is probably what's going to happen here. It doesn't happen. Mm-hmm. And the reason I believe the reason he's bringing up Titan is because there's a character in there who kind of steps in as like the father figure and you think is going to go south, but it doesn't. It's almost like, dude, that's what you have to do. That's the type of father you need to be.
In that situation, or
just overall.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I mean, not to go like super deep into it, but he knows he's trying to fill a void in his heart too. So they're both kind of like completing each other.
Like being the father that you wish he had, kind of thing.
Yeah, or just like wanting that to be a father, and he can't until he finds the right person.
Got it.
And then knowing that this isn't really my kid, but I'm gonna accept you, and like nobody's gonna tell me otherwise.
Kind of like Joel.
Joel?
In a way,
Ellie?
from Last of Us.
Yeah, similar.
In a way. Yeah.
In a way, yeah.
That's kind of like Colin Farrell in True Detective season 2.
Yeah.
His son isn't his son. His wife was raped, but he raised that kid. He's like, no, this is my kid.
Yeah.
You know, this isn't anybody else's kid. That's my boy. And he does some pretty wild stuff in that in a couple episodes to defend his child. And you're kind of like, all right, dude, this is kind of extreme, you know?
Doesn't he like almost fuck up another kid for
He
his
beats
shoes?
the shit out of this other kid's dad in front of the kid to teach a kid a lesson.
Damn.
Because
the kid stole the son's
and
shoes.
put shit in them and put them in his locker.
I mean,
And his kid's kind of like
his kid's
kind of like a chubbier, redheaded kid with freckles, like getting
he's gonna
picked
get
on
picked
and like
Typical Target.
yeah, and
I would have fucked him.
and he, and he was like, where are the LeBrons? Where are they? And you're like, oh shit, dude, Colin Farrell's about to kill somebody, but then he just goes there and sociopathically
that immediately makes me think of like Liam Neeson and Taken.
dude. Oh yeah, so we talk about badass dads.
Yeah.
That's Liam Neeson and Taken, right?
Yeah. Like what? Like what would be another one that's something similar to that?
Mel Gibson in Ransom.
Dude, yeah.
Well,
I've never seen
I was gonna
that.
say Mel Gibson in Bloodfather too.
Yeah.
Mel Gibson in The Patriot,
yeah.
homie.
Mel fuck Mel Gibson.
Dude, Mel Gibson's like in the Patriot though, like for sure.
The Patriot. That's the one
Where they
with
kill-
Heath Ledger also,
Yeah, they
right?
kill
Heath
his-
Ledger and I can't remember the other dude's name. The younger brother that also gets killed.
His name's Gregory Smith. He was in Small
yeah.
Soldiers. His
he's
grandparents lived across the street from my dad.
No shit.
Swear to God, I met him when I was a kid. That when his grandpa passed away.
That's dope.
Random Riverside. They were from Canada. I'm like, why are you in Riverside? But yeah, oh, my grandson's coming over. I was like, that's your grandson? I just watched Small Soldiers. That's your grandson?
That's wild.
Yeah, dude. But yeah, so that fool gets smoked by that soldier.
Yeah.
And Mel Gibson's
Like
like,
in
all
cold
right,
blood.
cool. I'm crazy again. Everyone's dying.
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah, but like, that story arc with him though, like as it pertains to like his fatherhood.
Yeah, taking his son into war and
Yeah,
everything. Like being like, all right, you want to come? You're coming, and we're going to do this together.
Yeah, but he was at first apprehensive.
Yeah,
to
he
it
didn't want him.
because the horrors of war. You
Prior,
know?
yeah.
Yeah, you know
he
what I
had
mean.
PTSD.
Like, I don't know. That's a good one, dude. That's a good one.
You know what just popped in my head? I don't want to say like a bad dad, but I guess like a negligent one. Was that one movie? I can't remember the name of it. Where the guy, he's like proposes to his girlfriend, and they go out to the cabin and the kids, and then he leaves the girlfriend and the kids out there. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Ah, dude.
I can't remember the fucking name of it.
It's not called The Cabin, right?
I think it is actually.
It might be. I know exactly what
But it's like
snowed in, right?
It's like you're leaving. Okay, like yeah, you're gonna marry this person now, but there's obviously no relationship that has been built between the children and her. But yeah, he's gonna leave them all by themselves in a cabin over the weekend, and they get snowed in while he goes back into the city to work. Like, why would you do that? Like,
Yeah, that's absolutely.
there's no-
That's
there's-
fucking crazy.
yeah.
Yeah.
I did want to. I know. I don't think you've watched it yet. The Coffee Table.
Oh, as bad dad?
I don't want to say bad. Yeah, bad dad.
That was a fucking bad dad.
Dude, I love this movie though.
That was a great movie.
I haven't seen it yet though.
So
You can just tell me, dude. I don't
no,
give a shit.
yeah. I'm just gonna say, the whole beginning of this movie is just like this salesman trying to sell this family, a coffee table.
Oh,
He's
jeez.
hyping it up.
It's
This is
a
like
husband and wife and a
one-of-a-kind-
newborn baby.
Yeah, this is a one of a kind coffee table. It was made here.
Top of the
it's
line.
Blah blah blah.
High
this.
tech.
It's a fucking coffee table, and his wife's like, "I want that coffee table."
No, look at the husband.
No, the husband wants it really bad.
She's like, I don't want this shit in my house. It's a piece of glass, and what's holding the glass up is these two like statuesque women, naked women with like exposed breasts, but they're like little statues, and they have their hands up like that, and they're what's holding the glass up, and that's what he wants in his house. And she's like, what the fuck, no.
Yeah, I mean, she's got a pretty good point.
Well, yeah, but I saw that as like, dude, I'm new to fatherhood, like, this is like his way of getting control. Like, I want this coffee table.
Yeah.
she doesn't want it. You know what I mean? So it was just a lot of bickering. Like it was a pretty long intro. It was just them back and forth. This salesman trying his hardest to sell this fucking coffee table. He ends up selling it. And
let's go,
dude. So the movie, when it actually starts, it starts rolling. They're in the apartment. The coffee table's set up. What does she leave for?
So it's not set up. It's not set up.
Oh no. Okay.
So the whole argument, he's throwing in her face like, you got to choose everything. I'm not in that apartment. There's nothing that's me in that apartment. This is me. I want it in the apartment. So that's what finally she was like, fuck it, whatever, get it if you want.
I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah. So when they get to the apartment, he's putting it together. So he has like the glass kind of like
missing a screw or something.
Yeah, he has like the glass leaned up against like a piece of the coffee table, but he's like, there's a screw missing, so it's flimsy. So he calls the furniture place and he's like, hey, like it's missing a screw, like, and he's like, no, he's like arguing with the guy on the phone. He's like, I'm not going down there. Like, you need to bring it to me. And the guy agrees. Like, oh, okay. And then the wife finally puts the baby to sleep, and she's like, okay, I'm gonna go to the store because your brother's coming over for dinner with his new girlfriend, and she's like cracking jokes because the girlfriend is like super young, and he's like, she calls his brother a pedophile. Like, oh, your pedophile brother's coming over, like, with his new girlfriend, and like, we gotta make food. And then he's like, okay, well, can you get wine also? And she goes, no, like, I'm not drinking, and I thought you in solidarity would not drink with me. And he's all, yeah, but my brother's coming over and he drinks. And then she's all like, no, like, I don't want. He's all like, can you just please get the wine? And she goes, oh, fine, whatever. And then she leaves. Like, they're constantly bickering. Like, their whole interaction is just them bickering back and forth.
Yeah, well, I feel like she's just being difficult.
Essentially.
It sounds like
Where's the kid?
The baby's asleep.
Oh, okay.
And then, so she agrees and she's leaving and she like kind of slams the door and the baby wakes up. And then he's like, oh shit. So he picks up the baby. And then at this point, this is when the camera,
it starts zooming out.
It starts kind of zooming out, like kind of down the hall towards like the front door. And then you just see him in frame with the baby like, shh, 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 shh. And then the baby's just screaming its head off, crying. And then he goes out of frame. So you don't see him anymore, but you still hear the baby crying. And then you just see glass, or you hear glass break. And then instant silence. And he's just like, what the fuck? And then it's just a bunch of close-ups. And there's a close-up of just blood all over the floor. Glass everywhere. And then you see the baby's headless body on the floor with the glass like in its neckline.
Oh my god!
And then the guy,
Jesus Christ!
And the guy on his knees, covered in blood, just in shock, like what the fuck? And he's like shaking, and everything's just like close-ups. And then it cuts to like the wife at the grocery store, like all like nothing, and then she runs into like a few friends, and they're like, oh, like where's your husband? Like we want to meet the baby. Like when can we meet the baby? She goes, oh, I'll call him right now. And like she calls him, and I don't think he's answering at first until he finally does answer, but he's just like, hello. And she goes, hey, like I'm with this person, like they want to say hi. And then she's all like, oh, hey, like how are you doing? And there's no response. She goes, hello. And then he looks, and like he had hung up. And then she does it again a few times. She's just like, oh, it's weird, like whatever. And this time it goes back again, and it's just him. He basically just like loses it, and he's just kind of like, okay, I gotta hide this somehow. So
from there,
dude, this is where I could see why it's kind of labeled a black comedy. It's dark, dude.
It's super dark, yeah.
It's super dark, but the rest of the movie is just basically him trying to hide the fact that their child is in the next room, decapitated
in the crib.
Because she comes back home, the baby's in the crib. She comes back home, says, oh, where's the baby? I want to see him. Like, I feel like I haven't seen him in so long. And then he's like, no, I just put him to sleep. Like, it took me forever to, like, just leave him.
That's gnarly.
And then, like, he has, like, a bandage on his hand. And, like, she sees all the blood. Like, whoa, what happened? And he's like, oh, like, you were right. I shouldn't have got this table. Like, I cut myself. And she goes, that's a lot of blood, though. Like, but he's, like, has an excuse for everything. Then the brother comes over with the new girlfriend. And he's just trying to, like, they're like, oh, let's see the baby. And he's like, no, this baby's asleep. And then she's like, and then there basically becomes like a counter, like a countdown, because she's like, I gotta feed the baby at a certain time.
Oh
yeah. So
But like
Dude.
while this is happening, like, there's so much like little. It's like a series of events, and him trying so hard to cover it up, like and not have it be revealed yet. Like there's a scene where the baby's head is still underneath like a couch.
Oh yeah.
Or like a chair, and there's like a dog right trying to.
Oh,
get it.
that's when everything blows up. That's when everything blows up in his face. Because it's at the end of the movie. Yeah, there's a dog and dude.
But dude, this movie has
Man, what the fuck are you guys watching, dude? This is some wild shit.
Dude,
if I had to watch,
I'm good with just a description, dude.
Yeah,
like,
I don't need to watch
this
it.
Brief
I'm straight.
It's funny, dude. Like,
No, it's not.
No, it's funny. It's hilarious because like you just feel so bad for this guy, but it just keeps getting worse.
Does
and
anything
worse
Schindler's List of
and
comedy?
worse. No, and there's even that little girl that's like a neighbor that's like in love with him.
Yeah, there's the little girl. She's like in love with the guy, and she has this. She's romanticized him in a way where she in her mind she's having an affair with him.
What the fuck?
How old is she?
She's the little ass
a little
girl,
kid,
like
yeah.
12, 13.
Jesus.
And then he's just like, no. And she's like, have you told... Every time she sees him, have you told your wife about us? And he just thinks it's like cute banter. She's like, you need to stop with that. Like, dude, it's just... The whole... Okay, Eddie's saying this funny, and I could see where the comedy's coming from in this movie.
You gotta
Yeah.
watch it. Too.
But-
Like objectively.
appreciate it.
But the whole time, I'm just like...
It's the literal definition of a dark comedy, dude. Because
Yes.
No,
yes.
I see what you mean. I like just from basically what you're describing, especially like.
Because there's a lot of moments where I was just like, oh my God.
yeah, dude, it's a lot of that.
So
Yeah.
act 1 is just like that slow build up, and then
Yeah.
Act 2 is just like him trying
Anxiety.
to yes.
Is it like so ridiculous that it's hilarious?
No, dude.
It's a fucked up movie.
Okay.
Like it's a straight
Yeah.
up like dark comedy, dude. Like it's funny because of the little.
It's not funny.
Things that happen. It's funny, dude.
It's not
No,
funny.
dude. This movie got a lot of buzz when it came out, dude.
Serbian film, dude. Like,
I didn't say it was funny. That movie's good. Dude, that movie's really good.
No, dude, the first time I saw that shit, it fucked me up.
The documentary's coming out this year. I'm stoked.
I want to watch the documentary just because I mean I agree that it's a
Dude,
well done movie.
it's fascinating.
Like, this is why I love Europe and shit, because they don't have that censorship, dude. They for the like the red carpet thing that they did for the movie, they had like all the movie props like set up so people can take pictures. So like that gnarly machete scene in the bed.
Yeah.
Like they had that whole display out there, so people were just like fans are just walking up, like taking pictures, like gnarly, dude.
They should have been arresting those motherfuckers.
Disgusting.
Oh, you like this? Jail.
Yeah, that
We got a place for people
That's
like
a-
you.
that's a
Well,
wild ass
that movie was meant to like it was strictly, like,
become banned.
This one's
Probably,
not on
dude.
that level.
No,
Like,
no,
okay.
no.
Yeah.
This
Okay.
was it.
Because I
is-
mean I could stomach like a decat.
It
like,
doesn't show it like the decapitation happening. You
It's
never
inferred.
see. It's inferred. You never see the baby's face. If that's
This
like,
is why I think it's so well written though, because like it's hard to pull that dark comedy off.
yeah.
Like,
yeah.
but I feel like if somebody was to tell me like, oh, like what would you recommend like for like a really dark comedy? Like this is like the first thing to pop in my head, because I think it's so well
I
written.
see what you mean now.
Because like it is really it's meant to be a comedy, like, but just a dark comedy.
It's fucked up, dude.
Yeah,
But I feel
It
like
is a great
it's
movie.
very
though.
dry. Like
it's super dry,
Yeah.
and the whole time it's just like the moments that kind of make you like, oh shit, are because like you just feel so bad for this guy, but he's also like a piece of shit for trying to cover it up.
It's like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? Just like your life's over already. Just fucking admit it.
yeah, but it's just like
Yeah.
a series of events that just keep happening and just keeps putting it off.
dude.
Like he even gets his brother involved and eventually tells him the truth, and then his brother's like, "All right, how are we gonna get out of this?"
oh
It's
my
just like,
god,
yeah,
dude.
dude.
See, like now that's funny
Dude,
because like
but that's
ridiculous.
It's a lot of that. Like the way we're describing it, kind of it's like hard to picture in your head. Like, but
It's
But
also in Spanish. So
yeah, it's not
Oh,
an
yeah, I
American
remember you
film.
saying
Of course,
that.
it's not an American film.
yeah. But yeah, Eddie had let me borrow it, and I remember he would be like, "Oh, do not look it up, just watch it." And I was like, "All right," and I did.
Because I feel like going into it, if knowing that, it won't be like, "Oh fuck, what?"
It is a
surprised.
very well done movie though. The writing is great. The acting was great. It looks awesome. Like
Yeah,
the
there's a lot of
practical
attention
effects were
to it.
really good. Like it's just
Babies' heads are
Father's
coming
Day
off.
movie.
yeah.
Babies' heads are coming off. Dads are trying to fucking
Cover it up.
Cover it up. Mom's at the store, grocery shopping. Dude, that's intense.
It's hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, Eddie owns it, but I believe it's streaming on Shudder.
Not gonna watch it.
Yeah, I'm good with what you guys have told me.
Yeah, that was good. You guys explained
I'm
it
actually
perfectly.
kind of interested, to be honest.
What about
Morbid
Trey's
Curiosity.
dad and Boys in the Hood?
Oh, yeah,
that's a
Furious
solid
Styles.
one. Yeah, Furious Styles.
Furious
dude.
Styles, dude.
That's a good one, dude.
That is
right?
a good one.
Damn.
How come I gotta do all this and you don't? He's like, because all I gotta do is pay the bills, put a roof over your head, and put food in your belly.
No, when he's breaking down gentrification. To
oh
the
yeah,
point.
when he
yeah.
to all the everybody.
Yeah,
When he's just putting them on, every single one of them.
like keeping it real like that. Yeah.
What does Ricky say? He's like, man, Furious be on some Martin Luther King shit.
Yeah, he does.
He says that. Dude, Ricky, he was a dad too. He was trying to get that scholarship to take care of his family, dude.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
just
he
got
was-
taken off the
Yeah,
set.
he was also like a reckless kid, though.
Yeah.
True. He shouldn't have been walking down that alley.
Why didn't he fucking zigzag? Why didn't he hop a fence? Why the fuck you go in a straight line
I think
running?
every single person says, why didn't he zigzag? That was the first thing I thought too. Why the fuck are you drinking milk in the middle
you know,
of summer?
You know what's crazy? Yeah, for real.
was a bad choice.
For real though, that's applicable to that.
So the guy that in that scene that shot him apparently killed somebody in real life.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember. I think I remember like hearing that or seeing that somewhere. Yeah.
That fool looks like a light-skinned Chris Tucker. He does, dude.
Yeah.
Watch it. Just watch it. I thought that my whole life. I was like, why does he look like that? He looks like Chris Tucker to me.
He also reprises that role in Don't Be a Menace
Dude,
when they're parodying it.
Really?
Ashtray's dad and Don't Be a Menace.
Dude,
He's
that
like,
is
at night,
so...
or he's like, I want you to organize my Sega Genesis cartridges, and at night before I go to bed, I want you to cut the hair on my balls. Dude, that scene is so funny.
Dude.
He's like, hey, Dad, can you light me up real quick? Because I was going to run you about $13. So what? Spanish dude down the street charges $6. Well, take your ass to him, let him fuck your head up.
He's all tucking him in.
Oh, yeah.
His bedtime story?
Yeah, dude.
He's like, look, son, let me tell you something about drinking and driving. Yo, that shit is fun. I mean,
Hey, did you wear a condom? Nah, I didn't. That's my boy. They take away all the feeling. Dude, just like a complete counter to Furious Styles. In the best way. The Wayans brothers win.
The fact that they played it to where like because Furious Styles is supposed to be like mad young. And,
Yeah.
And they make him younger than the son.
'cause I used to change my father's diapers all the time. Ain't no thing.
Oh,
Come on, Dad, you know it's your bedtime. Or come on, Pops, you know it's your bedtime. Tucks him in.
That's funny.
He's like, Dad, you're having me doing all this stuff. What are you going to be doing? He's like, look, I ain't got to do nothing. My mama take care of me.
So good, dude. Oh my God.
Dude, I love that movie.
I haven't seen it in so long.
Dude, I fucking love that movie.
It's
that
like
shit is so funny.
That's top tier.
Yeah.
Dude, the Wayans brothers. Like I was watching that Club Shay Shay podcast.
with Marlon?
Yeah, no, with Damon.
I haven't seen that
And
one.
like someone says like, "What's the best thing your father did?" He's like, "Just come home." He's like, he came home. He's like, they said his mom was like she was just ran that place. She was always giving him a hard time. You need to make more money, blah, blah, blah. Always mean to him. And he was always just like, all right, dear. Yeah, you're right. You know, he was just like, they had 10 kids. And Damon was just had such like admiration for his father. He's like, dude, he was so strong. Can you imagine having 10 kids and coming home to a woman that doesn't like you every day?
Fuck.
He goes, and they stayed married for 85 years or something like that. He goes, I guess like the mom died and the dad, right after the mom died, was like, I'm ready to go. My girl's gone. I'm ready to go. You know, just like, I was like, man, that's so beautiful, dude. Like when he was like, he just came home. I'm like, damn, dude, that's so true. Just come home. All you gotta do, like, be like, the biggest thing about being a dad is just being there. Being there. Be physically there. I feel like that's like one of the biggest things. They want to see you.
Yeah.
They want to hear you talk. They want to see what you're gonna do. They like watching you. You're their favorite person. You
No,
gotta. A lot of people don't think about that.
No, I agree. Yeah, because I mean, like Joseph be trying to like play like video games with me all the time.
Yeah, dude. Because you're his hero. You're the guy. You're the guy. At least until that fool's like 12, 13, when he's just like, man, I got homies now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, because that's gonna happen for sure. Like every parent has told me that. Just wait till they get a little older. But I mean, like, yeah, I want him to have that. I want him to have homies, but I want to be his homie too. Like, I want to be his dad. I want him to know, like,
Yeah.
look, this is a mutual respect thing, dude. Like, this is you, but this is me. This is me and you, but this is me. I'm the big guy. You're the little guy, but I'm here to be a tool to you. I'm here to help you, man. Like, anything you need, come and talk to me. Anything you're going through, come and talk to me. I don't want you to have to go and talk to somebody else.
Yeah.
I want you to come here. Because that's like what you do when you don't have a good dad or you don't have a good support system. You go to your friends. You might go to friends that aren't the best people. You know what I mean? Like, so I feel like having that structure at home, just having a dad that's there and is willing to like listen to you,
ask you questions,
respect you, dude. Neri said that to me. She was like, dude, you have to respect kids. People don't respect kids. Yeah. It's like a natural thing in society to not respect kids.
I think it's very common where people just kind of look at kids as an extension of themselves and not like human beings who have a right to exist on their own.
Yeah.
You know, and it's giving them that sense of dignity and respect that I think is important, you know, as a parent, because like you're trying to foster the type of interpersonal relationships that these kids are going to have as adults, you know, like, so you're leading by example all the time in that sense, you know, so it's important for you to like, you know, like to be someone who shows these people respect. You have to show these little people, you know, like how to be understanding rather than to be understood, you know, like not ruling with an iron fist, but more of like an open heart. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Exactly. You put, so I don't remember where you put it up the other day. It was like something about just like teaching your children about emotional regulation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And you have to like, yeah.
Because I didn't come from that. You know what I mean? So I'm learning that as well. I've learned that as I've gotten older and as I've had Santi, and like I'm learning to teach him that too. Like Neri's way better at this than me. She's like more in tune with that. So I'm kind of learning off of her. She gives me good pointers. You know what I mean? Because it's like, a lot goes on. Little kids, especially toddlers, man, it's a lot of emotion going on. A lot of emotions they don't understand either.
Yeah.
Like I see him cry over stuff. I'm just like, what's going on, dude? Like, what is making you upset? You know, and like, it's a huge deal to them.
And sometimes they don't know how to like articulate
exactly,
it.
dude.
Or explain to you what it is that is actually like bothering them.
Yeah, dude. Like I'll do something that I think he wants me to do, and he'll just fall on the ground and start crying. And nothing bad's happening prior to that. No, nothing. And I'm just like, all right, dude. You know, I'm gonna let you feel that. You know, just let you lay there and feel that.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think I mentioned this before, dude. It's kind of like if you look at a kid, like say, for, like my frame of reference is all the time, like Joseph, 6 years old, right? Like it's an unrealistic expectation to think that, like, someone who only has 6 years experience on the, like, job of life, that they're gonna have, like, a better, like, sense of how to regulate their emotions than I. You know, and that's an unrealistic expectation because, like how you said, like having to, you know, like I mean, I know that dude, emotional regulation is something that I struggle with. You know, like, I mean, I've come a long way since like my 20s, and you know, I 100% believe that it's integral to, you know, try and, you know, like lead this example of what a father should be, how a father ought to treat their kids, you know, and I 100% believe that you have to, you know, like you said, respect, take a step back, you know, you have to, you know, create like a space for your kids to where, you know, they want to come to you, you know, when they make a mistake rather than feel like they have to hide it from you, you know, like, because, you know, how else, like, I mean, they're gonna fuck up, you know, and like,
for sure.
I don't want to curate like an environment where they feel unsafe, you know, like to like speak their mind, to you know, be afraid to admit to me that they did something wrong, you know. Like earlier when Joseph broke the candle, you know, he cried because he got scared and he was just tired, bro. Like that fool's fucking out. Like he looks on the bed like someone like he fell off a skyscraper, you know. Like he looks like a chalk outline in cartoons, you know. Like he's out. He was tired, so like his emotions were heightened, right? So like I know that, right? I know that. He doesn't know that, and he's like, so his mind is racing. So I had to tell him like, hey, like, you know, calm yourself, calm your nerves first, right? Find your breath, you know. So I tell him, find your breath, find it, you know. Slow it down, find your breath, and let's you know.
Yeah.
And like I'll ask him too, so a lot of time, like, you know, like, hey, like, do you need a hug? You know, most of the time he's like yes, and then it kind of like initiates, you know, the conversation.
Yeah.
You know, like as opposed to being the type of dad to be like what are you doing? Like, you know, like oh, so, like, you know. No crying, you know?
Yeah, suck it up.
Yeah, suck it up. I'll give you a reason to cry.
See, like, my dad would say shit like that, like, suck it up. But then, on the other hand, he would be like, hey, Miguel, calm down. In through your nose, out through your mouth. But I'm like, fool, you're the one that made me breathe. That's why I'm all snotty and crying because of you. But then he's like, hey, like this. And then I'm like, okay, so you get me there, and then you teach me how to bring myself back down. This is confusing as shit. You know what I mean? So I'm just trying to be, and like, I don't hate him for it. Because he didn't know anything else, you know what I mean? That's what he did. But like, I learned from that, so I got to learn to like not do that in front of Santi or act like that in front of him. I don't want my son to be afraid of me. I don't want that.
Yeah.
I want him to love me so much he's afraid to do something that would hurt me. Like, I want him to love his parents so much he just wants to do good. He wants to do good because he out of love. You know what I mean? Everything's based on love and how much you want to give and how much you want to take. And how much unconditional, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because as a parent, it has to be unconditional.
Yeah.
They fuck up, you have to love them through it. You know what I mean? If I fuck up as a dad, he has to love me through it. We have to just continue that. And just not forget that we're a family. And that, like, it's blood, dude.
Yeah.
Blood, like, that's a real thing. When people say blood is thicker than water, like, those are your people. Like, you come.
But blood just makes you related. It's things like loyalty and respect that make you family.
And that's what I'm talking
about. You could not be related to someone and have like a chosen family that treats you significantly better.
That's true.
You know,
that's very true.
Than the people that you share like a lineage with.
That's
very
true.
Like a bloodline, you know.
I'm more talking about just like inside of your house, your family.
Yeah, like your
immediate family.
Yeah,
like
but even then, like that's still what I'm saying still resonates true. You know, like what I think you're saying is like when you have that like that intact unit, you know,
like the tribe.
Yeah, when you have your tribe and it's intact, like there isn't that toxicity problem that's corrupting like the nature of how you guys function, right? Like the goal is to prioritize like the love that you guys have above all things. Yeah, you know, like because I mean like on an unconditional level, like you can make a mistake. That doesn't mean that I think less of you. That doesn't mean I think anything different about you. It's you know, the idea is that you can make a mistake. We can like you can depend on me to be someone to guide you through the situation. Not only help you out in the clean up the mess that you've made, but be the person to kind of put you on game so that now you know how to recognize this as a building block to the success that you're going to have after a failure like this.
That's
you know?
True. I think the way I said it kind of seemed like there was terms, and I don't want terms.
Yeah. No. I'm just.
Yeah, no, but I was kind of like taking it back. I was thinking about it as you were talking. I just came out wrong. But I think every dad that we've talked about is exactly what you just said. Every good dad that we've talked about in these movies has those traits. You know what I mean? To keep the family tight. It's all about like the family.
Yeah.
You know, the unit.
My dad used to always tell me shit like never choose sides against the family, and I'm like, shut up. Fucking
that's
Marlon
Godfather.
Brando. Yeah, he was just he wishes he was like Marlon Brando in The Godfather, but he's more Sam Elliott in The Ranch, dude.
Yeah, I think because I didn't have a tight family unit like that. Well, I did for a little bit, and then it kind of fizzled. That's why I want such a tight family unit. Like I want us to all just be homies forever.
Well, I mean that's kind of like how like so like the way like I grew up as I like and there's a significant period of time like I mean like we had houses that we lived in. I moved around a lot from house to house, but like then there was a period of time it was pivotal like for me like you know growing up where I did some couch surfing, you know, like and we did that as a family, you know, and throughout the whole thing like the like you know houses this is just brick and mortar, dude, you know. My dad always told me that it's not this is just material things. It's the people inside it that make a home. Yeah. You know? And like to me, like that has set the groundwork of like how I perceive that as a father. Like it really doesn't matter like how big my house is. It can be in a box under a fucking bridge. Like as long as my family's together, dude, like I have a home. Yeah. You know?
Yeah, no,
and like,
for sure.
And like and my kids aren't gonna discover that on their own, you know? Like I have to be the person to kind of like put them on that, you know, without, you know, like I mean, I can't just tell them like, hey man, if we live in a box, like, you know, we're still a family, you know, yeah, like, we're still a home, you know, like they're not gonna look at it in those terms, but like the concept is there, you know, like I mean, I'm grateful for like having someone who, you know, kind of put it like in those terms to me, you know, it's guided me a lot, like you know, as a father, you know, but on the flip side too, like there's a lot that I've learned, like say from my own dad. It's like I'm not gonna do that. You know?
Yeah, I mean
like,
that's the whole point, right? You're supposed to like everything's supposed to be better. You're supposed to get better because it's like who knows how your dad's dad was, who knows how his dad's dad was, because all that shit is just passed down. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah.
And they kind of flip it, remix it, and make it their own.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
But
dude.
I feel like our generation is kind of like, I don't know, a little, maybe not, because I mean, I feel like we're kind of on the forefront of this, like, better raising your kids with like a little more security, making sure, like what I was saying earlier, not raising people pleasers, people that just say yes to everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You want someone that's going to question things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You don't want to raise the typical 9-to-5 slave, dude. Like, and it's like you want an individual.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? You don't want them to think they're the fucking person that, you know, I'm the best, but you want to raise someone that isn't going to conform.
I'm teaching my kids how to like radical self-love.
Exactly, dude.
That's what I'm trying to put them on, dude.
Yeah, it's like, and Neri talks about that too. It's like, she goes like, you know, you go to these places and you're just like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, no. And inside your head, you're like, fuck that, I don't want to do this. You know what I mean? So like, why raise someone that's just going to be like, oh yeah, okay. And then that's like, you know what I mean? That's cancer to me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you want to raise someone that's like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm cool with that. Like, no, I don't need to go there. I'm happy right here. You know what I mean? There's like someone that has good perspective on life, that understands that like they don't have to do anything they don't want to do because it makes someone else feel better.
Yeah.
Or, you know,
To be like
it
a
might
pe-
make
yeah.
them feel better in that moment, but they got to realize what comes after. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like, I mean, I'm not trying to like be emotionally unavailable, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you know, I want to make sure that they feel like, you know, I'm engaged and I'm aware of what, you know, they're feeling, you know, those kind of things.
I mean, damn, Eddie, you're going to be raising a daughter. That's going to be like, I mean, it's different for me. He has a daughter. I don't have a daughter. I just have a son. So I couldn't imagine, like, as time goes on, it's probably going to be completely different for you. But you seem like you got such a solid, calm, like, even-keeled head on your shoulders. I feel like you're going to be like...
Nah, this motherfucker crazy, huh?
I just feel like this fool's going to be, like, the most cool dad ever. He's
How
like,
old is your son?
He's 3.
He's 3? Just wait till those motherfuckers start talking back, dude. Then you'll it'll make
Well, that's what I feel like
it'll
right
make
now,
you
like,
test.
I'm just going to do that
not
shit where I
level
look
yet.
at Neri, like...
Dude, like Joseph be saying, because like Naraya doesn't do these kinds of things, you know, like she doesn't talk like this, you know, so I don't really have this kind of problem with her. But like Joseph will be the one to like push limits. Like the other day, I caught him like trying to like throw a ball at me that I was trying to film him playing catch with Alexis, and he tried like that shit came at me, and I'm like, I know he's a sniper. I know he's a sniper. I go to every practice and I watch every motherfucking game and I write down every fucking stat. I know you have a great arm. You did that shit on purpose, you little motherfucker. You know, piss me off, dude. You know what I mean? Like, so don't get me wrong. Like, these motherfuckers like be doing shit, you know, that are gonna run your nerves up, dude. You know, it's bound to happen. Like when they start talking, like, oh, hey, dude, you shouldn't be sleeping in my bed anymore, dude. Like, for real, you're huge. Like, no, stop. Like, oh, you know, like this room is just for me and mommy. Yeah. Well, why is there 3 pillows? It's like, all right, dude.
I don't know. I like...
You're trying to get a Stone Cold Stunner right now.
I saw you do that earlier to Ryan. I was like, that was great.
Yeah, it's because we're into wrestling right now. I got the kids into wrestling, so like we watch it every Monday. We watch Raw, and then on Saturday
It's on Netflix now.
yeah. So tomorrow they're hyped that it's Money in the Bank.
Sick.
Oh, that is tomorrow.
Yeah, so we're
Where can you watch all the old ones? Is it on ESPN or is it like on Paramount or something?
Peacock.
Peacock. Yeah, I'm gonna show those.
They
to
also
Santi.
they also have a YouTube channel called WWE Vault.
Yeah.
Where it showcases a lot of old shit.
Yeah,
Oh, that's dope.
I want to show it to my kid, but he's a wild ass 3-year-old dude. He likes jumping off of shit.
He'll like it too much.
Yeah, he'll be into it, dude. Today he was just he
give me
already.
a Jeff Hardy kid.
You're gonna be checking emails, and all of a sudden you get cracked in the head with
Dude,
a chair.
I was on my phone. He hates when I'm on my phone, dude. He's like, nah, it's not happening. This fool climbed up on the arm of the chair and looked at Neri and just hucked himself. He wasn't even looking when he did it. He just hucked himself into my lap. And I watched it out of the corner of my eye. I was like, did you see that? He wasn't even paying attention. She's like, no, he smiled at me before he did it. I was like, he's already in character. He's already doing it.
Hell yeah.
Dude, he's the heel. He's the heel that runs the house.
That's tight.
Oh, yeah,
so,
dude.
So he's the NWO?
He's the Rock, dude. He thinks he's the shit.
Yeah.
He's that guy.
The Rock's a heel right now.
Is he?
Yeah.
Is he back in wrestling?
Yeah, he's the final boss.
I don't know, dude. I'm not on Instagram, and it's been like 6 months, and I don't know.
He's a board member of TKO Holdings, which is the parent company of the UFC, the WWE.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's the final boss.
It's
That's
hard,
his
dude.
main
I still
thing.
call it the WWF sometimes.
Yeah.
I can't help it. I grew up in the best time. when everyone was cracking, homie. When shit was real unsettling. When old women were in bikinis and they shouldn't have been.
You should watch it.
Yeah?
You should watch it.
It's good right now.
Santi really likes Aristocats right now, dude, so I'm stuck on Aristocats.
Yeah. Everybody
Dude, he loves that, dude. Dude, such a good movie.
Hallelujah, everybody! Everybody!
There's soul in that, dude. And the fool that does Baloo's voice does Thomas O'Malley's voice.
Does.
And Santi's like all about that. He even said, Baloo? Because he saw the cat say, he's talking, he's like, Baloo? I was like, oh, no, that's not Baloo. Because I don't want to watch Jungle Book again, dude. I've watched Jungle Book like 8 times. I've watched Jungle Book like 3 times in one day. I'm like, this is so much Jungle Book.
I watched Jungle Book, the original cartoon,
the
Disney cartoon with the kids one time where I was doing like, I was interacting with it like by saying like silly shit, like when Mowgli would be like coming like oh no running Mowgli, you know, I would do something stupid like that. They were small, dude. They thought it was so funny, and then they wanted me to play it every day, and then when it was over, they wanted to do it again, and I had to do the fucking exact same bit every time through the whole movie every time.
Oh yeah, dude.
Like, let's do something
Fatherhood, homie.
Yeah, dude, you do one slapstick thing like fall on purpose, and you're falling on purpose at least 10 more times after that.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
You know how many times I've gotten really good at just like jumping onto a bed without killing myself, like doing flips. Dude, he likes that shit. Like that's what he's like. Yeah, hurt yourself, dude. He's like in the cartoons when like they get messed up, he's like, yes. He likes Tom and Jerry. I'm like, we shouldn't be letting him watch this, dude. They're blowing each other up, but he thinks it's hilarious. I'm like, all right, I like his laugh. So,
you know, man, I have like, I don't know, like when I think about like back, like being a little kid and like with my dad, you know, it's fondness for me, you know.
Oh yeah.
And so like I just try to like I'm trying to emulate the way that felt for me, for them, but like in a way that's different from how he did things, just because like he's a flawed man, you know, and he grew up at a time that's just a little different, you know, and in a culture that's, you know, like, you know, like super Catholic, super fucking Mexican, dude. Like, I mean, I'm sure you guys can guess like how, you know, that dude grew up when it was time to like get punished or you know, do certain things, you know. So like obviously like, you know, those things kind of bleed over, you know. Like, I mean, I can recall, you know,
dude, the ass
belt, you know,
the ass beatings you hear about your parents getting is crazy. Yeah. You're like, damn, dude, they did you dirty like that. Like that's intense.
Yeah,
that's
dude.
real intense. Like my dad just had to put a belt on the door, and I was like, all right, I'm cool, dude. Like I'm never, well, I won't think about it.
See, that's one thing with like me too. Like I didn't have discipline like that.
No.
Yeah, like my dad wasn't like strict or anything like that. Like my mom was, but only with like my sisters. Like I kind of had like free range. Like
that's why you're a bad bitch, dude.
Do you think it's because you were the only boy?
Oh, it's definitely because
that has to be it.
Does your mom favor you?
Oh, 100%.
Because you're the only boy?
100%. She
Typical
definitely
Mexican mama
but
right
at
there?
the same time, I also get the blame for a lot of stuff. Like, especially now as an adult, I'm constantly like getting calls from my mom, her complaining about my sisters.
Oh yeah.
And then she'll lump me in and be like, "Oh, you guys are just doing this."
You're like,
and I'm just like, I didn't even do shit. Like,
and it's not even your problem.
yeah, and so I'm always the one that she calls to like fix certain things, like certain dynamics. Yeah, and I'm just like, I had to tell her multiple times, like, I'm fucking tired of this.
Yeah,
like,
I'm over it, dude.
Yeah, like, why me? Like, why? But like, I didn't have that structure growing up. Like, I never had to ask permission to do anything. Like, I would just leave. Like, I wouldn't be like, oh, can I go here? And
that's crazy.
I would just leave.
My parents had to fucking meet other people's parents and shit. They had to do a whole vetting process before.
Dude, I was 15 years old getting drunk in my room by myself.
That's fucking nuts.
I mean, I was like 15 getting drunk, but I mean, I think I don't know if they knew. My dad would say, my dad would say this shit all the time. The older you get, the smarter I'll become to you. And it's the truest shit I've ever heard in my life. Because the older I get, I'm like, this motherfucker knew everything. He'd be like, I know what you're doing. I know this. I know that. I'm like, no, you don't. Dude. You don't know nothing. I'm like trying to pull.
The older I get, the more I'm like, motherfucker, you didn't have this shit figured out.
See, I don't know. My dad lived though. You know what I mean? He was a surfer, punk rocker dude, like partied, you know what I mean?
That's
did
tight.
all kinds of shit. He like breakdancing. My mom was like, he was into everything. he just liked to stick his foot in a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Like, but he was really into surfing.
That's funny. I get curious to think like what the kids are gonna think about me, like when they talk about like their dad. You know,
You're
like,
sick as fuck, dude. You make beats in the garage.
That's what I'm saying. Like
that's hard.
Do they? Like,
Man, you're taking away my fucking final.
Oh, okay.
Final question.
Okay,
to end
go.
things.
Okay, go.
All right. So, how do you want your children to remember you?
Oh man.
We should make Eddie go first. He
Yeah.
doesn't talk that much.
That's hard though.
And me and Jose talk a lot.
No, I just feel like I'm not at that stage yet. Like I'm only 6 months in.
Mm-hmm.
So like,
Still manifesting.
So
Yeah,
what kind of impact do you hope to have then?
I mean, the most positive one.
Oh come on, dude. Like you can unpack that a little bit better. Come on. Oh, a positive one.
Yeah.
How old are you? At what age are you gonna show her a Serbian film?
Oh, dude. She's 6 months now. Probably 8.5 months.
Damn.
You're all, you see? See what happens?
See what happens with a shitty dad?
No, dude.
Aren't you glad
See
I'm
how
your
good
dad?
you have it?
Yeah. Oh my god, dude.
glad I don't do this?
I don't want to talk about this.
Oh fuck. That's horrible.
I hate it.
That's
Nah, dude,
horrible.
I hope she.
It's too good.
Damn.
We go over for her first birthday, and we see the coffee table.
It's like, god damn it.
I mean, I don't know, dude. You put me on the spot.
Well, I mean, like, in this conversation, right? Like, evaluating like your dad, you know, like the do's and don'ts, pros and cons of like, you know, and from all of our perspectives, like, what kind of impact do you hope to have, like, when you think about? Because I'm sure you think about like, oh, like the kind of person she's gonna be when she's an adult.
As far as like what you would think about me, I don't know. Like, well, the number one thing, like you guys were talking about, like I don't ever want her to feel like she's I don't ever want her to feel afraid to come to me for anything.
Mm-hmm.
So,
You want her to be able to depend on you for shit.
yeah, it would just depend on me, and then just know that, like, you know, like I'll offer her good advice. You know, like I want her to have a good head on her shoulder. But just to be like, I don't know, like it's so like vague, but
A good person.
yeah, like a good father, like you know, if she needs whatever she needs, like, you know, I'll be there to help, you know.
Yeah.
But
See-
not only that, and then just like be like, oh dude, my dad was like into cool shit. Like I learned how to use a fucking camera when I was like 6
This
because
fool
of him.
taught me
You
how to
know?
play drums.
Yeah, stuff like that, like stuff that I didn't have with my dad because he was always busy working.
Yeah.
You know? Like
Yeah, okay, that's a good answer. You
Yeah.
you like to be more present and
More
more
present.
and intentional with your time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you know,
for
so
sure,
that
'cause-
so that like the way that you want her to remember you would hopefully be that, like, oh, my dad was present like that. You know, my dad like was interested in me and showing me things and teaching me things, spending time with me, doing things that I liked, and trying to share time with me on the things that he liked. You know,
yeah.
I mean, I imagine that would be a well-rounded person in that sense.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, you hit the nail. Yeah, I mean, I just want to. It's like I think my favorite part of it right now is just like watching her experience things for the first time, and like watching her reaction to it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, dude, she loves being outdoors. That's the one hobby like that I love doing, because I love going on walks, dude. I love going on hikes. Like I fucking love. I tell everyone that is the cure to everything, dude.
Going
Going
on walks?
outside, like whatever mood you're in, bad,
Get
good.
that sunlight, homie.
Dude, go outside, go get some fresh air, walk around.
Walking's gay, dude.
And I'm
No,
good
big
with the ice
time,
cold
dude.
Dr. Pepper, homie. That's all I fucking need.
There would be times, dude, where I'm just like tired. Even before Emily, you know, like where I was just like, dude, I've been working all day, like I'm tired, but like I would make that effort to like, even with like Ellie, like I would be like, oh, let's go for like a 10-minute walk around the neighborhood.
No, it can kind of change everything. I mean, like, it's kind of like how I tell the kids, I'm like, when you take a shower, like, and trust me, it'll make everything,
Yeah.
like, just, it's a good reset. Walking
Yeah.
does the same thing, I think, for real.
And then that's what she'll remember you by, dude. All the little shit.
Yeah,
I feel like
yeah.
that's what I want Santi to remember me by. Is just like I'm acting like I'm a fucking die or something, fool. But I just want him to just like be like, my dad taught me a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Showed me that love leads in this life. That's the greatest thing, is just love your family, be respectful to others, and just
Yeah.
be sure of yourself. You know what I mean? Be sure of yourself in every aspect, you know, just don't. I feel like hesitation creates fear, right? That's like that saying, hesitation creates fear. And I just want him to be sure of himself. I want him to be sure of himself and learn that from me, because I showed him that, like, yo, dude, like, go out there with your head up.
Yeah.
Like, always with your head up. Be proud of who you are. Don't let somebody make you feel less than what you are, because you're a beautiful individual. You know what I mean? I want him to go out there and just be like, yeah, I could do this. I'm not afraid. I don't want that, because I grew up like apprehensive of things. Like, I don't know, dude. You know what I mean? Like, scared to make moves.
Yeah.
And I don't want him to do like. I don't want him to be like that. So that I want him to look back and be like, this fool taught me to move with grace and security and love. You know what I mean? And respect, because that's what it ultimately is. You know what I mean? That's what it all comes down to. I feel like everybody just wants to be respected and treated like a human being.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's how I want him to be.
No, that's tight.
And and obviously all the other stuff, music, skateboarding, that's all kind of a given though. You know what I mean? That's coming whether he wants it or not, because that's just who I am.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, of course, like, I want my kids to be able to, like, think of me as like, oh, dad, like, my dad was cool. Like, you know, he scratched records, he played guitar, he made music, he DJ'd, you know, like, you know, if anything, I want them to just, like, because we're talking about, like, legacy, right? The legacy that I leave on this earth as a father in their eyes, right? I want them to think of me, remember me as someone that was passionate, right? That I'm flawed, but, like, I'm dedicated to like to myself and the people around me in a way that, like, I'm always, like, trying to grow, you know, and to put myself first at times when it's necessary, because you need to do that for yourself, you know. That I'm trying to live this role as a father in this very, like, linear and narrow, like, concept of what a father is not, like, you know, like, I want them to be like, okay, this is who I have to be, like, in my relationship, because of, like, how my father was, you know. Again, like, I want them to think I'm cool, you know, but I wanted to remember me as someone who, you know, was passionate, like, and was about the things that I did and the things that I'm into. That I was, you know, I want them to think of me as someone that they trust my knowledge and my experience, you know, that I'm not gonna lie, that I never would lie to them, and if I told them, if I put them on game on something, like, I wasn't just talking on my ass, or, like, you know, that I was someone who did my due diligence, you know, to think critically, you know, that I was a critical thinker, and, like, I cared about liberation, and I cared about how people treat each other and shit, you know. You know, I'm very big about, like, teaching my kids about like, we are all part of this one big family that belongs to God, or a divine architect, right? And we have a responsibility to one another as a part of this cosmic family, you know, to treat each other with love, right? Even when it's hardest to do it, you know, to do the right thing even when no one's looking, you know, like, and I want them to remember me as the person who did those things, and inspire them to do those things on a much bigger level than I'm able to do it, you know. I don't know. Yeah.
The ultimate example, you know, good, bad, and everything in between.
Yeah, like, you know, and what not to do, you know, because I mean, I'm flawed as fuck, you know, like,
dude,
there's
show them
I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, homie.
Yeah, dude, I'm learning, dude.
Just
like,
being a human, dog.
Yeah.
Just being a good human. That's
Yeah.
what you want to do. That's the basic breakdown. Make a good human.
yeah, because I mean, like, let's put it like this. Like, Joseph, like, I took him to practice, like, a year ago, right? And I mean, he was 5, dude. Like, just turned 5, right? And it was like in Riverside. We went to the Raleigh Burgers in off of University, right? And I'm trying to order my food in the drive-thru, and this dude approaches me. He's got his cart and all that shit. And he's like, bro, I'm hungry. Like, can you hook me up with some food, you know? And I told him, I got you, you know? And he was being mad hesitant about, like how much food to get for himself, what to order for himself. And, and I told him, dude, like, just do it, man. Like you're hungry, bro. Like, eat, you know? So I paid, and then he met me at where you drive out to the street, and I gave him the food or whatever, and he was very grateful. And Joseph asked me, and he was like, "Why did you do that?" And I was like, "What do you mean? Why did I do that?" Like, he was hungry, you know. And he's like, "But you don't know him." And I was like, "No, but I know who he is to me, like, as a human being on this earth, dude. Like, you know, like, I have a responsibility to, like, not make him feel like doesn't feel like he's like loved, you know, like it's the right thing to do, dude. You know, it's what Jesus had taught me how to behave in this situation. You know, like so that's what I chose to do because it's the right thing to do. You know, he's my brother, and I look at it like that, right? So I'm just telling him that. And he had like this thing, like, you know, just recently for homework, and you have to write these sentences, and you have to draw a picture for this thing that you're writing. And he drew a picture of me and him in the drive-thru, and him giving food to somebody. And he basically what he had wrote in there is like looking at people like brothers, and you know, because, you know, I want to be like Jesus and my dad. You know what I mean? And like, to me, that was just kind of like trying to just do what I normally do, because bro, I'm that's just who I am, dude. You know. And to me, it's like I'm not doing it to like for anything. Like, it's just how I was raised that way. It's what I believe in my heart, so that's how I do. You know. And the fact that he's able to kind of like look at it like that, so and to remember that in that way, I'm just like, man, like that's tight. Like he's gonna, you know, I feel like he's gonna be all right. You know, like I think I must be doing something right if like his worldview at 6 years old is like I have to be kindness to everybody. You know, like even when I told him, like even I was like, even if they look like zombies, bro, like there's that was somebody's baby one time, right? And like somebody loved them, you know, and then they stopped. That's fucked up, you know. So I told him like I refuse to be that guy to not love them. You know, I'm gonna do it. You know, so I teach him that shit. So I hope that's, you know, my legacy.
That's what's up.
What about you? What legacy do you hope to leave, like, you know, as a...
That Satan rules.
Sick.
That's what's up. That's what's
Sick. Sick.
Nihilism, death, destruction, chaos, filth, and greed.
No, I just, like I said, like, my situation is, like, I feel hesitant to say, like, stepdad, because I don't think I'm in that role. I'm more of just, like, I guess, father figure type, because they do have their dad in their lives.
Yeah.
Like, he is a part of their lives. Like, so I just hope that they see me as somebody that they could come to, like, to depend on for anything that they need, any questions that they have, and I hope I'm able to help answer those questions or help in any type of situation that they need help in at all, you know?
Yeah.
So, and dude, and the way Anna is raising her kids is like, it's amazing. Like,
Yeah, but you're showing up, though.
yeah.
Like, and like we talked about earlier, like that's like the hugest part, like when it comes to like having like a father figure in your life, is just to be there.
Yeah,
to
it's like
show
I
up.
have a dad, and then I got this cool fool that I get to go see too. Like,
Exactly.
That's
Her
bonus,
son
dude.
is like super attached to me.
Dude, that's bonus. That's
like,
bonus.
he just likes having me just being there.
Yeah, because you think you're
Like, just
cool.
hanging out.
So then let me ask you, like, how long do you expect to be in their life?
Oh, forever, dude.
Forever.
Yeah,
So,
like, I was gonna ask that, but I didn't know how to
20
ask that. Like, are you gonna marry Anna?
Well, that's the thing. Like, I'm not really like married. It's like, if I'm gonna spend the rest of my life with this person, I'm gonna spend the rest of my life.
Yeah,
with
Regardless
I
of
feel
what
you.
it says on
Yeah,
there.
I feel you.
Okay.
Like, you don't need to
So-
say to validate.
Yeah,
No,
your
that's
love.
good. No, that's good.
So let's. So how old is like her youngest?
Her youngest is her son, which is 10.
10. So like in 20 years from now, you expect to still be
Oh, yeah.
a thing, right? Okay. So when the dude's like 30,
Yeah.
like how do you want them to view you at that point in time?
I just said.
No, but I mean, I know. Yeah,
Satan,
but I mean,
dude.
yeah. What?
Satan, dude.
Satan.
Yeah, no, but I mean, so what I'm saying is like, cause like you're saying that you don't like, I'm not like the stepdad or whatever like that, but like, how are they not gonna look at you and at that point in time and think as someone who shows up consistent like that and wants to
no, it's already become a thing because, like I said, like for myself in my head, I don't.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah, because she's told me that they've asked her like, oh, is Fidel my stepdad?
Yeah.
And her answer to that was, well, do you want him to be? And they kind of like were thinking on it. And I think her son said like he was excited about it.
Yeah.
Because like I said, he's very attached to me.
Yeah. Like
So-
if you want to call him your stepdad,
Yeah.
if that's how you feel about him, like
Yeah.
then go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, that's
That's
beautiful.
That is beautiful.
That's
dude.
super beautiful.
Your Uncle Phil, dude.
Straight up.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're their
Straight
Uncle
up,
Phil,
dude.
Yeah.
I had a good stepdad. It's a beautiful thing to have. It really is.
But yeah,
Man.
that's fine. That's all I got.
That's all I got.
Yeah, that's all I got.
Yeah, pretty much.
Right.
Is that it?
All right. Well, Trevor, thank you for joining us on this one.
Yeah, of course. I like being a papa.
Yeah. I'm glad you're a dad, and I'm glad you're down.
Yeah, I think being a dad has probably been the best thing for me.
Shout out to all the dads, all the homies that are dads.
Yeah.
Yep, there's a lot of good ones. All of our friends that are dads. Fernando's a good ass dad. You know, Dylan's the daddy of Riverside. He's a good ass dad.
I don't want people to think that like I hate my dad, because I feel like I'm kind of coming off as like I don't have a good relationship with him.
Dude.
That's not what it seems to me.
Okay, well I feel like I need to clear up.
You're an honest individual, dude. You're being honest about your experience.
Yeah, like I don't hate him, but like I also my relationship with him feels more not transactional, just like it doesn't feel like a father-son relationship to me. Yeah, it just feels like okay, like I understand why I understand the choices that were made on his part, and I understand like the shit that he went through, which led to those decisions. It's just that relationship I have with him isn't necessarily, and to me, a father-son relationship.
You still love him, right?
Yeah, because of those things.
Of course, it's unconditional love, dude. It's your dad. No matter what, the fool's still your dad. Like,
and he's an amazing dad to like my little brother, my stepbrother, and then a grandfather to my little sister's like son.
And I mean, like what you were saying earlier, I mean that should make you feel super stoked that those little boys get that experience. You know what I mean? That they don't have to go through what you went through. You know what I mean? Look at him like, damn, this fool fucking turned the tide, changed the tide.
That's what I'm saying. Shout out to his growth as a father.
Yeah, exactly. Fool. That's how I feel about my old man too, because he was hard as fuck, dude, and it was hard to be around. And now, cool as shit, dude. Yeah, I love him. I respect him. He's a completely different man. He saw the fault in his ways, you know what I mean? And for him to admit that type of shit, it's hard for guys to admit shit.
I was gonna say that, like, people of that generation, like, it's just hard to admit that, like, they made that kind of mistake.
Yeah, they do have a lot of pride. Like, you're saying your dad was quiet. You're saying your dad's quiet. Like, that's a part of their generation.
Yeah, it's like it's a mechanism for sure.
Especially Mexican men too. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. But yeah, shout out to all the dads.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
And if anybody has, like, you know, I guess, like, you know, who's listening, who wants to, like, tap into, like, comments and stuff, I guess, and, like, you know, your dads that we didn't mention, like, in film and TV, or, you know, want
comment on Spotify or on the Instagram post.
Leave comments and just interact, you know?
Hell yeah.
All right, we'll see everybody next time.
All right. Peace.
Happy Father's Day.
Later.
Happy Father's Day.